The Importance of Being Earnest. A trivial comedy for serious people by Oscar Wilde. In the original 4-act version edited by Owen Dudley-Edwards. With Richard Pasco and Jeremy Clyde as John Worthing, J.P., and Algernon MoncricB. Barbara Leigh-Hunt and Prunella Scales as the Honourable Gwendolen Fairfax and Cecily Cardew. Sylvia Coleridge and Maurice Denham as Miss Prism and the Rev Canon Chasuble, Doctor of Divinity. And Fabia Drake as Lady Bracknell. The Importance of Being Earnest.
Did you hear what I was playing, Lane?
I didn't think it polite to listen, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry for that, for your sake. I don't play accurately. Anyone can play accurately, but I play with wonderful expression. As far as the piano is concerned, sentiment is my forte. I keep science for life.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of the science of life, have you got the cucumber sandwiches cut for Lady Bracknell?
Oh, yes, sir.
Ah, where are they?
Oh, here, sir.
Ah. By the way, Lane, I see from your book that on Thursday night, when Lord Shorman and Mr. Worthing were dining with me, 8 bottles of champagne are entered as having been consumed.
Oh, yes, sir. 8 bottles and a pint.
Now, why is it that at a bachelor's establishment the servants invariably drink the champagne? I ask merely for information.
I attribute it to the superior quality of the wine, sir. I've often observed that in married households the champagne is rarely of a first-rate brand.
Good heavens, is marriage so demoralizing as that?
I believe it is a very pleasant state, sir. I've had very little experience of it myself up to the present. I have only been married once. That was in consequence of a misunderstanding between myself and a young person.
I don't know that I'm much interested in your family life, Lane.
No, sir. It's not a very interesting subject. I never think of it myself.
And very natural, I'm sure. That will do, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Lane's views on marriage seem excessively lax. Really, if the lower orders don't set us a good example, what on earth is the use of them? They seem as a class to have absolutely no sense of their moral responsibilities.
Mr. Worthing.
My dear Ernest, what brings you to town?
Oh, pleasure, pleasure. What else should bring one anywhere? Eating as usual, I see, Algy.
I believe it's customary in good society to take some slight refreshment at 5 o'clock. Where have you been since last Thursday?
Oh, in the country.
Oh, what on earth do you do there?
When one is in town, one amuses oneself. When one is in the country, one amuses other people. It is excessively boring.
And who are the people you amuse?
Oh, neighbours, neighbours.
Got nice neighbours in your part of Shropshire?
Perfectly horrid. Never speak to one of them.
How immensely you must amuse them. Shropshire is your county, isn't it?
Shropshire? Oh, yes, yes, of course. Hello? Why all these cups? Why cucumber sandwiches? Why such reckless extravagance in one so young? Who is coming to tea?
Oh, merely Aunt Augusta and Gwendolen.
How perfectly delightful.
Yes, that is all very well, but I'm afraid Aunt Augusta won't quite approve of your being here.
May I ask why?
Oh, my dear fellow, the way you flirt with Gwendolen is perfectly disgraceful. It's almost as bad as the way Gwendolen flirts with you.
I am in love with Gwendolen. I have come up to town expressly to propose to her.
I thought you'd come up for pleasure. I call that business.
How utterly unromantic you are.
I really don't see anything romantic in proposing. It is very romantic to be in love, but there is nothing romantic about a definite proposal. Why, one may be accepted. One usually is, I believe, and then the excitement is all over. The very essence of romance is uncertainty. If I ever get married, I shall certainly try to forget the fact.
I have no doubt about that, dear Algy. The divorce court was specially invented for people whose memories are so peculiarly constituted.
Oh, there is no use speculating on that subject. Divorces are made in heaven. Please don't touch the cucumber sandwiches. They are ordered specially for Aunt Augusta.
Well, you have been eating them all the time.
Well, that is quite a different matter. She is my aunt. Have some bread and butter. The bread and butter is for Gwendolen. Gwendolen is devoted to bread and butter.
And very good bread and butter it is, too.
No, my dear fellow, you need not eat it all. You behave as if you were married to her already. You are not married to her already, and I don't think you ever will be.
Why on earth do you say that?
Well, in the first place, girls never marry the men they flirt with. Girls don't think it right.
Oh, that is nonsense.
It isn't. It's a great truth. It accounts for the extraordinary number of bachelors that one sees all over the place. In the second place, I don't give my consent.
Your consent?
Oh, my dear fellow, Gwendolen is my first cousin, and before I allow you to marry her, you will have to clear up the whole question of Cecily.
Cecily? What on earth do you mean? What do you mean, Algy, by Cecily? I don't know anyone of the name of Cecily.
Lane, bring me that cigarette case Mr. Worthing left in the smoking room the last time he dined here.
Yes, sir.
Do you mean to say that you have had my cigarette case all this time? I wish to goodness you'd let me know. I've been writing frantic letters to Scotland Yard about it. I was very nearly offering a large reward.
Oh, well, I wish you would offer one. I happen to be more than usually hard up.
Well, it's no good offering a large reward now that the thing is found.
I think that's rather economical of you, Ernest, and economy, like morality, is a vice in the rich and a virtue in the poor.
Sir?
However, it makes no matter, for now that I look at the inscription inside, I find that the thing isn't yours after all.
Of course it's mine. You've seen me with it 100 times, and you have no right whatsoever to read what is written inside. It is a very ungentlemanly thing to read a private cigarette case.
Oh, it is absurd to have a hard and fast rule about what one should read and what one shouldn't. More than half of modern culture depends upon what one shouldn't read.
You know, I'm quite aware of the fact, and I don't propose to discuss modern culture. It isn't quite the sort of thing one should discuss at afternoon tea. It is a little too exotic. I simply want my cigarette case back.
Yes, but this isn't your cigarette case. This cigarette case is a present from someone of the name of Cecily, and you said that you didn't know anyone of that name.
Well, if you want to know, Cecily happens to be my aunt.
Your aunt?
Yes. Charming old lady she is, too. Lives at Tunbridge Wells. Just give it back to me, Archie.
But why does she call herself Little Cecily if she is your aunt and lives at Tunbridge Wells? From Little Cecily with her fondest love.
Oh, my dear fellow, what on earth is there in that? Some aunts are tall, some aunts are not tall. That is a matter that surely an aunt may be allowed to decide for herself. You seem to think that every aunt should be exactly like your aunt. That is absurd. Now, for heaven's sake, give me back my cigarette case.
Yes, but why does your aunt call you her uncle? From Little Cecily with her fondest love to her dear Uncle Jack. There is no objection, I admit, to an aunt being a small aunt, but why an aunt, no matter what her size may be, should call her own nephew her uncle, I can't quite make out. Besides, your name isn't Jack at all, it is Ernest.
It isn't Ernest, it's Jack.
We've always told me it was Ernest. I have introduced you to everyone as Ernest. You answer to the name of Ernest. You look as if your name was Ernest. You are the most Ernest-looking person I ever saw in my life. It is perfectly absurd your saying your name isn't Ernest. It is on your cards. Oh, here's one of them. Mr. Ernest Worthingby for the Albany West. I'll keep this as proof that your name is Ernest if you ever attempt to deny it to me, or to Gwendolen, or to anyone else.
Well, my name is Ernest in town and Jack in the country, and the cigarette case was given to me in the country.
Yes, but that does not account for the fact that your small Aunt Cecily, who lives at Tunbridge Wells, calls you her dear uncle. Now come, old boy, you had much better have the thing out at once.
My dear Algy, you talk exactly as if you were a dentist. It is very vulgar to talk like a dentist when one isn't a dentist. It produces a false impression.
Well, that is exactly what dentists always do. Now go on, tell me the whole thing. I may mention that I've always suspected you of being a confirmed and secret Bunburyist, and I'm quite sure of it now.
Bunburyist? What on earth do you mean by a Bunburyist?
I'll reveal to you the meaning of that incomparable expression as soon as you are kind enough to inform me why you are Ernest in town and Jack in the country.
Well, produce my cigarette case first.
Here it is. Now, produce your explanation, and pray make it improbable.
My dear fellow, there is nothing improbable about my explanation at all. In fact, it's perfectly ordinary. Old Mr. Thomas Cardew, who adopted me when I was a little boy, under rather peculiar circumstances, and left me all the money I possess, made me in his will guardian to his granddaughter, Miss Cecily Cardew. Cecily, who addresses me as her uncle, from motives of respect that you could not possibly appreciate, lives at my place in the country under the charge of her admirable governess, Miss Prism.
Where is that place in the country, by the way?
That is nothing to you, dear boy. You are not going to be invited. I may tell you candidly that the place is not in Shropshire.
I suspected that, my dear fellow. I have bunburied all over Shropshire on 2 separate occasions. Now go on. Now, why are you Ernest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear Algy, I don't know whether you will be able to understand my real motives. You are hardly serious enough. When one is placed in the position of guardian, one has to adopt a very high moral tone on all subjects. It's one's duty to do so. And as a high moral tone can hardly be said to conduce very much to either one's health or one's happiness, if carried to excess. In order to get up to town, I have always pretended to have a younger brother of the name of Ernest, who lives in the Albany and gets into the most dreadful scrapes. That, my dear Algy, is the whole truth, pure and simple.
The truth is rarely pure and never simple. A modern life would be very tedious if it were either, and modern literature a complete impossibility.
That wouldn't be at all a bad thing.
Literary criticism is not your forte, my dear fellow. Don't try it. You should leave that to the people who haven't been at a university. They do it so well in the daily papers. What you really are is a Bunburyist. I was quite right in saying that you are a Bunburyist. You are one of the most advanced Bunburyists I know.
What on earth do you mean?
Well, you have invented a very useful younger brother called Ernest in order that you may be able to come up to town as often as you like. I have invented an invaluable permanent invalid called Bunbury in order that I may be able to go down into the country whenever I choose.
What nonsense!
It isn't nonsense. Bunbury is perfectly invaluable. If it wasn't for Bunbury's extraordinary bad health, for instance, I wouldn't be able to dine with you at the Savoy tonight, for I've really been engaged to Aunt Augusta for more than a week.
I haven't asked you to dine with me anywhere tonight.
I know. You are absurdly careless about sending out invitations. It's very foolish of you. Nothing annoys people so much as not receiving invitations.
Well, I can't dine at the Savoy. I owe them about £700. They're always getting judgments and things against me. They bother my life out.
Why on earth don't you pay them? You've got heaps of money.
Yes, but Ernest hasn't. And I must keep up Ernest's reputation. Ernest is one of those chaps who never pays a bill. He gets writted about once a week.
Well, let us dine at Willis's.
You would much better dine with your Aunt Augusta.
I haven't the smallest intention of doing anything of the kind. To begin with, I dine there on Monday, and once a week is quite enough to dine with one's own relations. In the second place, whenever I do dine there, I'm always treated as a member of the family and sent down with either no woman at all or 2. In the third place, I know perfectly well whom she will place me next tonight. She will place me next Mary Farker, who always flirts with her own husband across the dinner table. That's not very pleasant. Indeed, it's not even decent. And that sort of thing is enormously on the increase. The amount of women in London who flirt with their own husbands is perfectly scandalous. Looks so bad. It is simply washing one's clean linen in public. Besides, now that I know you to be a confirmed Bunburyist, I naturally want to talk to you about Bunburying. I want to tell you the rules.
I'm not a Bunburyist at all. If Gwendolen accepts me, I'm going to kill my brother. Indeed, I think I'm going to kill him in any case. Cecily is a good deal too much interested in him. She's always asking me to forgive him and that sort of thing. So I am going to get rid of Ernest. And I strongly advise you to do the same with your invalid friend who has that absurd name.
Nothing will induce me to part with Bunbury. It is a lifelong friendship, and I don't think his name is absurd. If you ever get married, which seems to be extremely problematic, you will be very glad to know Bunbury. A man who marries without knowing Bunbury has a very tedious time of it.
Well, that is nonsense. If I marry a charming girl like Gwendolen, and she is the only girl I ever saw in my life that I would marry, I certainly won't want to know Bunbury.
Then your wife will. You don't seem to realize that in married life, 3 is company and 2 is none.
That, my dear young friend, is the theory that the corrupt French drama has been propounding for the last 50 years.
Yes, and that the happy English home has proved in half the time. They're always degrading truth into facts, and when truth becomes fact, it loses all its intellectual value.
Oh, for heaven's sake, don't try to be cynical. It's perfectly easy to be cynical.
Oh, my dear fellow, it isn't easy to be anything nowadays. There's such a lot of beastly competition about. Ah, that must be Aunt Augusta. Only relatives or creditors ever ring in that Wagnerian manner. Now, if I get her out of the way for 10 minutes so that you can have an opportunity for proposing to Gwendolen, may I dine with you tonight at Willis's?
I suppose so, if you want to.
Yes, but you must be serious about it. I hate people who are not serious about meals. It's so shallow of them.
Lady Bracknell and Miss Fairfax.
Good afternoon, dear Algernon. I hope you are behaving very well.
I'm feeling very well, Aunt Augusta.
I'm afraid that is not quite the same thing. In fact, the two things rarely go together. Mr. Worthing.
Lady Bracknell?
Dear me, Gwendolen, you are smart.
I'm always smart. Am I not, Mr. Worthing?
You're quite perfect, Miss Fairfax.
Oh, I hope I am not that. It would leave no room for developments, and I intend to develop in many directions.
I'm sorry if we are a little late, Algernon, but I was obliged to call on dear Lady Harbury. I hadn't been there since her poor husband's death. I never saw a woman so altered. She looks quite 20 years younger. But now I'll have a cup of tea. And one of those nice cucumber sandwiches you promised me.
Certainly, Aunt Augusta.
Won't you come and sit here, Gwendolen?
Thank you, Mamma. I'm quite comfortable where I am.
Good heavens, Lane, why are there no cucumber sandwiches? I ordered them specially.
There were no cucumbers in the market this morning, sir. I went down twice.
No cucumbers?
No, sir. Not even for ready money.
Oh, that will do, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I am greatly distressed, Aunt Augusta, about there being no cucumbers, not even for ready money.
It really makes no matter, Algernon. I had some crumpets with Lady Harbury, who seems to me to be living entirely for pleasure now.
I hear her hair has turned quite gold from grief.
It certainly has changed its colour. From what cause, I of course cannot say. Thank you. I've quite a treat for you tonight, Algernon. I'm going to send you down with Mary Farker. She's such a nice woman, and so attentive to her husband. It's delightful to watch them.
I am afraid, Aunt Augusta, I shall have to give up the pleasure of dining with you tonight after all.
I hope not, Algernon. It would put my table completely out. Your uncle would have to dine upstairs. Fortunately, he's accustomed to that.
It is a great bore, and I need hardly say a terrible disappointment to me, but the fact is I've just had a telegram to say that my poor friend Bunbury is very ill again. They seem to think I should be with him.
It is very strange. This Mr. Bunbury seems to suffer from curiously bad health.
Yes, poor Bunbury is a dreadful invalid.
Well, I must say, Algernon, that I think it is high time that Mr. Bunbury made up his mind whether he was going to live or to die. This shilly-shallying with the question is absurd. Nor do I in any way approve of the modern sympathy with invalids. I consider it morbid. Illness of any kind is hardly a thing to be encouraged in others. Health is the primary duty of life. I'm always telling that to your poor uncle, but he never seems to take much notice as far as any improvement in his ailment goes. Well, Algernon, of course, if you are obliged to be beside the bedside of Mr. Bunbury, I have nothing more to say. But I would be much obliged if you would ask Mr. Bunbury from me to be kind enough not to have a relapse on Saturday, for I rely on you to arrange my music for me. It is my last reception, and one wants something that will encourage conversation, particularly at the end of the season, when everyone has practically said whatever they had to say, which in most cases was probably not much.
Well, I'll speak to Bunbury, Aunt Augusta, if he is still conscious, and I think I can promise you he'll be all right by Saturday. Of course, the music is rather a difficulty. You see, if one plays good music, people don't listen, and if one plays bad music, they don't talk. So if you will kindly come into the next room for a moment, I'll show you the program I've drawn out.
Thank you, Algernon. It's very thoughtful of you. I'm sure the program will be delightful after a few necessary expurgations. French songs I cannot possibly allow.
Oh.
People always seem to think that they are improper, and either look shocked, which is vulgar, or laugh, which is worse. But German sounds a thoroughly respectable language, and indeed I believe is so. Gwendolen, you will accompany me?
Certainly, Mamma.
Charming day it has been, Miss Fairfax.
Pray don't talk to me about the weather, Mr. Worthing. Whenever people talk to me about the weather, I always feel quite certain that they mean something else. And that makes me so nervous.
I do mean something else.
I thought so. In fact, I am never wrong.
And I would like to be allowed to take advantage of Lady Bracknell's temporary
Yes,
absence.
I would certainly advise you to do so. Mamma has a way of coming back suddenly into a room that I have often had to speak to her about.
Miss Fairfax, ever since I met you, I have admired you more than any girl I have ever met since I met you.
Yes, I am quite well aware of the fact, and I often wish that in public, at any rate, you had been more demonstrative. For me, you have always had an irresistible fascination. Even before I met you, I was far from indifferent to you. We live, as I hope you know, Mr. Worthing, in an age of ideals. The fact is constantly mentioned in the more expensive monthly magazines and has now reached the provincial pulpits, I'm told. And my ideal has always been to love someone of the name of Ernest. There is something in that name that inspires absolute confidence. The moment Algernon first mentioned to me that he had a friend called Ernest, I knew I was destined to love you. The name, fortunately for my peace of mind, is, as far as my own experience goes, extremely rare.
You really love me, Gwendolen?
Passionately.
Oh, darling, you don't know how happy you've made me.
My own Ernest.
Oh.
Oh,
But you don't really mean to say that you couldn't love me if my name wasn't Ernest?
but your name is Ernest.
Yes, I know it is, but supposing it was something else. Do you mean to say you couldn't love me then?
Ah, that is clearly a metaphysical speculation, and like most metaphysical speculations, has very little reference at all to the actual facts of real life, as we know them.
Personally, darling, to speak quite candidly, I don't much care about the name of Ernest. I don't think the name suits me at all.
It suits you perfectly. It is a divine name. It has a music of its own. It produces vibrations.
Well, really, Gwendolen, I must say that I think there are lots of other much nicer names. I think Jack, for instance, a charming name.
Jack. No, there is very little music in the name Jack. It does not thrill. It produces absolutely no vibrations. I have known several Jacks, and they all, without exception, were more than usually plain. Besides, Jack is a notorious domesticity for John, and I pity any woman who is married to a man called John. She would have a very tedious life with him. She would probably never be allowed to know the pleasure of a single moment's solitude. The only really safe name is Ernest.
Gwendolen, I must get christened at once. I mean, we must get married at once. There is no time to be lost.
Married, Mr. Worthing?
Well, surely. You know that I love you, and you led me to believe, Miss Fairfax, that you were not absolutely indifferent to me.
I adore you, but you haven't proposed to me yet. Nothing has been said at all about marriage. The subject has not even been touched on.
Well, may I propose to you now?
I think it would be an admirable opportunity, and to spare you any possible disappointment, Mr. Worthing, I think it only fair to tell you quite frankly beforehand that I am fully determined to accept you.
Gwendolen.
Yes, Mr. Worthing. What have you got to say to me?
You know what I've got to say to you.
Yes, but you don't say it.
Gwendolen, will you marry me?
Of course I will, darling. How long you've been about it. I'm afraid you have had very little experience in how to propose.
My own one, I've never loved anyone in the world but you.
Yes, but men often propose for practice. I know my brother Gerald does. All my girlfriends tell me so. What wonderfully blue eyes you have, Ernest. They are quite blue. Oh, I hope you will always look at me just like that. Especially when there are other people present.
Mr. Worthing!
Mamma!
Rise, sir, from this semi-recumbent posture. It is most indecorous.
Mamma, I must beg you to retire. This is no place for you. Besides, Mr. Worthing has not quite finished yet.
Finished what, may I ask?
I am engaged to Mr. Worthing, Mamma.
Pardon me. You are not engaged to anyone. When you do become engaged to someone, I, or your father, should his health permit him, will inform you of the fact. An engagement should come on a young girl as a surprise. Pleasant or unpleasant, as the case may be, it is hardly a matter that she could be allowed to arrange for herself. And now I have a few questions to put to you, Mr. Worthing.
I shall be charmed to reply to any questions, Lady Bracknell.
You mean if you know the answers to them? Mamma's questions are sometimes peculiarly inquisitorial.
I intend to make them very inquisitorial. And while I am making these inquiries, you, Gwendolen, will wait for me below in the carriage.
Mamma!
In the carriage, Gwendolen.
Oh.
Gwendolen, the carriage.
Certainly, Mamma.
You can take a seat, Mr. Worthing.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell. I prefer standing.
I feel bound to tell you that you are not down on my list of eligible young men. Although I have the same list as the dear Duchess of Bolton has, we work together, in fact. However, I am quite ready to enter your name, should your answers be what a really affectionate mother requires. Do you smoke?
Well, yes, I must admit I smoke.
I'm glad to hear it. A man should always have an occupation of some kind. There are far too many idle men in London as it is. Are you a philanthropist?
Oh, I do my best to help other people in a small way, I suppose.
I see no objection to a little philanthropy now and then. It is only the superficial qualities that last. Man's deeper nature is soon found out. How old are you?
29.
A very good age to be married at. There is a permanent uncertainty about it. Personally, I have always been of opinion that a man who desires to get married should know either everything or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
That is in your favour. I do not approve of anything that tampers with natural ignorance. Ignorance is like a delicate, exotic fruit. Touch it, and the bloom is gone. The whole theory of modern education is radically unsound. Fortunately, in England, at any rate, education produces no effect whatsoever. If it did, it would prove a serious danger to the upper classes, and probably lead to acts of violence in Grosvenor Square. And now to proceed to matters more closely connected with your character. What is your income?
Between 7,000 and 8,000 a year.
In land or in investments?
In investments, chiefly.
Ah, well, that is satisfactory. What between the duties expected of one during one's lifetime and the duties exacted from one after one's death, land has ceased to be either a profit or a pleasure. It gives one position and prevents one from keeping it up. That's all that can be said about land.
I have a country house with some land, of course, attached to it. About 1,500 acres, I believe. But I don't depend on that for my real income. In fact, as far as I can make out, the poachers are the only people who make anything out of it.
A country house? How many bedrooms? Oh, well, that point can be cleared up afterwards. You have a townhouse, I hope. A girl with a simple, unspoiled nature like Gwendolen could hardly be expected to reside in the country.
Well, I own a house in Belgrave Square,
Ah.
but it is let by the year to Lady Bloxham. Of course, I can get it back whenever I like, at 6 months' notice.
Lady Bloxham? I don't know her.
Oh, she goes very little into society. She is a lady considerably advanced in years.
Nowadays, that is no guarantee of respectability of character. What number in Belgrave Square?
149.
The unfashionable side. I thought there was something. However, that could easily be altered.
Do you mean the fashion or the side?
Both, if necessary, I presume. You have had, of course, the ordinary maladies of childhood.
Yes.
What are your politics?
Well, I'm afraid I really have none. I am a liberal unionist.
Oh, they count as Tories. They dine with us, or come in the evening at any rate. You have no sympathy, I trust, with the Radical Party.
Oh, I don't want to put the asses against the classes, if that is what you mean, Lady Bracknell.
The difficulty is to find out on which side the asses are. Now, to minor matters. Are your parents living?
I have lost both my parents.
Both? To lose one parent may be regarded as a misfortune. To lose both looks like carelessness. Who was your father? He was evidently a man of some wealth. Was he born in what the Radical papers call the purple of commerce? Or did he rise from the ranks of the aristocracy?
I'm afraid I really don't know. The fact is, Lady Bracknell, I said I'd lost my parents. It would be nearer the truth to say that my parents seem to have lost me. I don't actually know who I am by birth. I was found.
Found?
Yes, Lady Bracknell. The late Mr. Thomas Cardew, an old gentleman of a very charitable and kindly disposition, found me and gave me the name of Worthing because he happened to have a first-class ticket for Worthing in his pocket at the time. Worthing is a place in Sussex. It is a seaside resort.
Where did the charitable gentleman who had a first-class ticket for this seaside resort find you?
In a handbag.
A handbag?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I was in a handbag. A somewhat large, black leather handbag with handles to it. An ordinary handbag, in fact.
In what locality did this Mr. James Thomas Cardew come across this ordinary handbag?
In the cloakroom at Victoria Station. It was given to him in mistake for his own.
Cloakroom at Victoria Station?
Yes, the Brighton line.
The line is immaterial. Mr. Worthing, I confess I feel somewhat bewildered by what you have just told me. To be born, or at any rate bred, in a handbag, whether it had handles or not, seems to me to display a contempt for the ordinary decencies of family life that reminds one of the worst excesses of the French Revolution. And I presume you know what that unfortunate movement led to. As for the particular locality in which the handbag was found, a cloakroom at a railway station might serve to conceal a social indiscretion. Has probably indeed been used for that purpose before now, but it could hardly be regarded as an assured basis for a recognized position in good society.
May I ask you then what you would advise me to do? I need hardly say I would do anything in the world to ensure Gwendolen's happiness.
I would strongly advise you, Mr. Worthing, to try and acquire some relations as soon as possible, and to make a definite effort to produce at any rate one parent of either sex before the season is quite over.
Well, I don't see how I could possibly manage to do that. I can produce the handbag at any moment, if he's in my dressing room at home. I really think that should satisfy you, Lady Bracknell.
Me, sir? What has it to do with me? You can hardly imagine that I and Lord Bracknell would dream of allowing our only daughter, a girl brought up with the utmost care, to marry into a cloakroom and form an alliance with a parcel.
Lady Bracknell.
Kindly open the door for me, sir. You will of course understand that for the future there is to be no communication of any kind between you and Miss Fairfax.
Oh, for goodness sake, don't play that ghastly tune! Algy, how idiotic you are!
Oh, didn't it go off all right, old boy? You don't mean to say Gwendolen refused you? I know it's the way she has. She's always refusing people. I think it most ill-natured of her.
Oh, Gwendolen is as right as a trivet. As far as she's concerned, we're engaged. Her mother is perfectly unbearable. Never met such a gorgon. I don't really know what a gorgon is like, but I'm quite sure that Lady Bracknell is one. In any case, she is a monster, a myth, which is rather unfair. I beg your pardon, Algy. I suppose I shouldn't talk about your aunt in that way before you.
Oh, my dear boy, I love hearing my relations abused. It's the only thing that makes me put up with them at all. Relations are simply a tedious pack of people who haven't got the remotest knowledge of how to live, nor the smallest instinct about when to die.
Ah, I haven't got any relations. Don't know anything about relations.
Well, you are a lucky fellow. Relations never lend one any money and won't give one credit even for genius. They're a sort of aggravated form of the public.
And after all, what does it matter whether a man ever had a father and mother or not? Mothers, of course, are all right. They pay a chap's bills and don't bother him. But fathers bother a chap and never pay his bills. I don't know a single chap at the club who speaks to his father.
Yes, fathers are certainly not popular just at present.
Popular? I bet you anything you like that there is not a single chap of all the chaps that you and I know who would be seen walking down St. James's Street with his own father. Anything in the papers?
Nothing.
What a comfort.
Never is anything in the papers as far as I can see.
I think there is usually a great deal too much in them. They are always bothering one about people one doesn't know, one has never met, and one doesn't care tuppence about. Brutes.
I think people one hasn't met are charming. I'm very much interested at present in a girl I've never met. Very much interested indeed.
Oh, that is nonsense.
It isn't.
Well, I won't argue about the matter. You always want to argue about things.
But that is exactly what things were originally made for.
Upon my word, if I thought that, I'd shoot myself. You don't think there is any chance of Gwendolen becoming like her mother in about 150 years, do you, Algy?
All women become like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does. That's his.
Is that clever?
It is perfectly phrased, and quite as true as any observation in civilized life should be.
I am sick to death of cleverness. Everybody is clever nowadays. You can't go anywhere without meeting clever people. The thing has become an absolute public nuisance. I wish to goodness we had a few fools left.
Well, we have.
Well, I should extremely like to meet them. What do they talk about?
The fools? Oh, the clever people, of course.
What fools?
Oh, by the way, did you tell Gwendolen the truth about your being Ernest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear fellow, the truth isn't quite the sort of thing one tells to a nice, sweet, refined girl. What extraordinary ideas you have about the way to behave to a woman.
Well, the only way to behave to a woman is to make love to her if she is pretty and to someone else if she is plain.
Oh, that is nonsense.
It isn't. Now, what about your brother? What about the dissipated and delightful Ernest?
Before the end of the week, I shall have got rid of my brother. I think I'll probably kill him in Paris.
Why Paris?
Oh, less trouble. No nonsense about a funeral and that sort of thing. Yes, I'll kill him in Paris. Apoplexy will do perfectly well. Lots of people die of apoplexy quite suddenly, don't they?
Yes, but it's hereditary, my dear fellow. It's the sort of thing that runs in families.
Oh, good heavens, and I certainly won't choose that. What can I say?
Oh, say, influenza.
Oh, no, that wouldn't sound probable at all. Far too many people have had it.
Oh, well, say anything you choose. Say a severe chill. That's all right.
You're sure a severe chill isn't hereditary, or anything dreadful of that kind?
Of course it isn't.
Very well, then. That is settled. My poor brother Ernest is carried off suddenly in Paris by a severe chill. That gets rid of him.
But I thought you said that Miss Cardew was a little too much interested in your poor brother Ernest. Won't she feel his loss a great deal?
Oh, that is all right. Cecily is not a romantic girl at all. She's got a capital appetite, goes long walks, and is very much interested in her political economy lessons.
Oh, well, in spite of her political economy lessons, I would rather like to see Cecily.
I will take very good care you never do, and you are not to speak of her as Cecily.
Ah, I believe she is plain. Yes, I know perfectly well what she is like. She's one of those dull, intellectual girls one meets all over the place, girls who have got large minds and large feet. I'm sure she's more than usually plain, and I expect she's about 39 and looks it.
She happens to be excessively pretty, and she is only just 18.
Oh, have you told Gwendolen yet that you have an excessively pretty ward who is only just 18?
No, one doesn't blurt these things out to people. Life is a question of tact. One leads up to the thing gradually. Cecily and Gwendolen are perfectly certain to be extremely great friends. I'll bet you anything you like that half an hour after they have met, they will be calling each other sister.
Women only do that when they've called each other a lot of other things first. And now, my dear boy, if we want to get a good table at Willis's, we really must go and dress. Do you know it's nearly 7?
It always is nearly 7.
Well, I'm hungry.
I never knew you when you weren't.
Now, what shall we do after dinner? Go to a theatre?
Oh, no, I loathe listening.
Well, let us go to the club.
Oh, no, I hate talking.
Well, we might trot round to the Empire at 10.
Oh, no, I can't bear looking at things. It's so silly.
Well, what shall we do? Nothing?
Oh, that is such hard work. However, I don't mind hard work, where there is no definite object of any kind.
Miss Fairfax.
Gwendolen, upon my word.
Algy, kindly turn your back. I have something very particular to say to Mr. Worthing. As it is somewhat of a private matter, you will, of course, listen.
Oh, really, Gwendolen, I don't think I can allow this at all.
Algy, you always adopt a strictly immoral attitude towards life. You're not quite old enough to do that.
My own darling.
Ernest, we may never be married. From the expression on Mamma's face, I fear we never shall. Few parents nowadays pay any regard to what their children say to them. The old-fashioned respect for the young is fast dying out. Whatever influence I ever had over Mamma, I lost at the age of 3. But although she may prevent us from becoming man and wife, and I may marry someone else and marry often, nothing that she can possibly do can alter my eternal devotion to you.
Dear Gwendolen.
The story of your romantic origin, as related to me by Mamma with unpleasing comments, has naturally stirred the deeper fibres of my nature. Your Christian name has an irresistible fascination. The simplicity of your character makes you exquisitely incomprehensible to me. Your town address at the Albany I have. What is your address in the country?
The Manor House. Woolton,
Bolton.
Hertfordshire.
There is a good postal service, I suppose. I will communicate with you daily. How long do you remain in town?
Till Monday.
Should a crisis occur, and I think that in the interests of everyone concerned it would be best for a crisis of some kind to occur, I will telephone to you at the Albany.
Thank you, darling.
Good. Algy, you may turn round now.
Thanks, I've turned round already.
You may also ring the bell.
You will let me see you to your carriage, my own darling?
Certainly, Ernest.
I will see Miss Fairfax out.
Yes, sir.
A glass of sherry, Lane?
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, Lane, I'm going Bunburying.
Yes, sir.
I shall probably not be back until Monday. You may put up my dress clothes, my smoking jacket, and all the Bunbury suits.
Yes, sir.
I hope tomorrow will be a fine day, Lane.
It never is, sir.
Lane, you're a perfect pessimist.
I do my best to give satisfaction, sir.
There's a sensible, intellectual 19th century girl. The only girl I've loved in my whole life. Well, what on earth are you so amused at?
I'm a little anxious about poor Bunbury, that is all.
If you don't take care, your friend Bunbury will get you into a serious scrape someday.
I love scrapes. They're the only things that are never serious.
Oh, that's nonsense, Algy. You never talk anything but nonsense.
Nobody ever does.
Ah,
The Manor House, Woolton, Hertfordshire.
Cecily! Cecily, surely such a utilitarian occupation as the watering of flowers is rather Moulton's duty than yours, especially at a moment when intellectual pleasures await you. Your German grammar is on the table. Pray open it at page 15. We will repeat yesterday's lesson.
I don't like German.
You should not talk flippantly of a language whose grammar displays such interesting varieties of syntax, gender, and expression.
Yes. But it isn't at all a becoming language, at any rate for a young girl. I know perfectly well that I always look quite plain after my German lessons.
Child, you know how anxious your guardian is that you should improve yourself in every way. He laid particular stress on your German as he was leaving for town yesterday. Indeed, he always lays stress on your German when he is leaving for town.
Dear Uncle Jack is so very serious. Sometimes he is so serious that I think he cannot be quite well.
Your guardian enjoys the best of health, and his gravity of demeanour is especially to be commended in one so comparatively young as he is. I know no one who has a higher sense of duty and responsibility.
I suppose that is why he often looks a little bored when we three are together.
Cecily, I'm surprised at you. Mr. Worthing has many troubles in his life. Idle merriment and triviality would be out of place in his conversation. You must remember his constant anxiety about that unfortunate young man, his brother.
I wish Uncle Jack could allow that unfortunate young man, his brother, to come down here sometimes.
Oh.
We might have a good influence over him, Miss Prism. I'm sure you certainly would. You know German and geology, and things of that kind influence a man very much.
I do not think that even I could produce any effect on a character that, according to his own brother's admission, is irretrievably weak and vacillating. Indeed, I am not sure that I would desire to reclaim him. I am not in favour of this modern mania for turning bad people into good people at a moment's notice. As a man sows, so let him reap.
But men don't sow, Miss Prism. And if they did, I don't see why they should be punished for it. There is a great deal too much punishment in the world. German is a punishment, certainly, and there is far too much German. You told me yourself yesterday that Germany was overpopulated.
But that is no reason why you should be writing your diary instead of translating William Tell. Now, you must put away your diary, Cecily. I really don't see why you should keep a diary at all.
I keep a diary in order to enter the wonderful secrets of my life. If I didn't write them down, I should probably forget all about them.
Memory, my dear Cecily, is the diary that we all carry about with us.
Yes, but it usually chronicles the things that have never happened and couldn't possibly have happened. I believe that memory is responsible for nearly all the 3-volume novels that Moody sends us.
Do not speak slightingly of the 3-volume novels, Cecily. I wrote one myself in earlier days.
Did you really, Miss Prism? How wonderfully clever you are.
Oh,
I hope it did not end happily. I don't like novels that end happily. They depress me so much.
the good ended happily and the bad unhappily. That is what fiction means.
I suppose so. But it seems very unfair. And was your novel ever published?
Alas, no. The manuscript, unfortunately, was abandoned.
Oh.
I use the word in the sense of lost or mislaid. To your work, child. These speculations are profitless.
But I see Dr. Chasuble coming up through the garden.
Oh, Dr. Chasuble. This is indeed a pleasure.
Yes, and how are we this morning? Miss Prism, you are, I trust. Well.
Miss Prism has just been complaining of a slight headache.
Ah.
I think it would do her so much good to have a short stroll with you in the park, Dr. Chasuble.
Cecily, I have not mentioned anything about a headache.
No, dear Miss Prism, I know that, but I felt instinctively that you had a headache. Indeed, I was thinking about that and not about my German lesson when the rector came in.
No, I hope, Cecily, you are not inattentive.
Oh, I am afraid I am.
Well, it is strange. Were I fortunate enough to be Miss Prism's pupil, I would hang upon her lips. I spoke metaphorically. My metaphor was drawn from bees. Mr. Worthing, I suppose, has not returned from town yet?
We do not expect him till Monday afternoon.
Ah, yes, he usually likes to spend his Sunday in London. He's not one of those whose sole aim is enjoyment, as, by all accounts, that unfortunate young man, his brother, seems to be. But I must not disturb Egeria and her pupil any longer.
Egeria? My name is Letitia, Doctor.
A classical allusion, merely, drawn from the pagan authors. I shall see you both, no doubt, at evensong.
I think, dear Doctor, I will have a stroll with you. I find I have a headache after all. A walk might do it good.
With pleasure, Miss Prism, with pleasure. We might go as far as the schools and back.
That would be delightful. Cecily, you will read your political economy in my absence.
Yes, Miss Prism.
The chapter on the fall of the rupee you may omit. It is somewhat too sensational for a young girl. Even these metallic problems have their melodramatic side.
Reading political economy, Cecily. It's wonderful how girls are educated nowadays. I suppose you know all about relations between capital and labour.
I'm afraid I am not learned at all. All I know is about the relations between capital and idleness. And that is merely from observation, so I don't suppose it is true.
Cecily, that sounds like socialism. And I suppose you know where socialism leads to.
Oh, yes, that leads to rational dress, Miss Prism.
Oh.
And I suppose that when a woman is dressed rationally, she is treated rationally. She certainly deserves to be.
Oh, a wilful lamb, dear child.
A sad trouble sometimes.
Well, I envy you such tribulation.
Horrid political economy, horrid geography, horrid German.
Mr. Ernest Worthing has just driven over from the station. He has brought his luggage with him.
Mr. Ernest Worthing, B4, the Albany, West. Jack's brother. Did you tell him Mr. Worthing was in town?
Yes, miss, he seemed very much disappointed. I mentioned that you and Miss Prism were in the garden. He said he was anxious to speak to you privately for a moment.
I don't think Miss Prism would like my being alone with him. So I'd better send for him at once before she comes in. Ask Mr. Ernest Worthing to come here. I suppose you'd better talk to the housekeeper about a room for him.
I have already sent his luggage up to the blue room, miss, next to Mr. Worthing's own room.
Oh, that is all right. I have never met any really wicked person before. I feel rather frightened. I'm so afraid he will look just like everyone else.
Ah,
He does.
you are my little cousin Cecily, I'm sure.
You are under some strange mistake. I'm not little. In fact, I believe I am more than usually tall for my age.
Oh,
But I am your cousin Cecily. You, I see from your card, are Uncle Jack's brother, my cousin Ernest. My wicked cousin Ernest.
oh, I'm not really wicked at all, Cousin Cecily. You mustn't think that I'm wicked.
If you are not, Then you have certainly been deceiving us all in a very inexcusable manner. You have made Uncle Jack believe that you are very bad. I hope you have not been leading a double life, pretending to be wicked and being really good all the time. That would be hypocrisy.
Oh, of course, I have been rather reckless.
I'm glad to hear it.
In fact, now that you mention the subject, I've been very bad in my own small way.
I don't think you should be so proud of that. I'm sure it must have been very pleasant.
It is much pleasanter being here with you.
I can't understand how you were here at all. Uncle Jack telegraphed to you yesterday at the Albany that he would see you for the last time at 6 o'clock. He lets me read all the telegrams he sends you. I know some of them by heart.
The fact is, I didn't get the telegram until it was too late, and then I missed him at the club, and the hall porter said he thought he'd come down here, so, of course, I followed as soon as I knew that he wanted to see me.
He won't be back till Monday afternoon.
Oh, that is a great disappointment. I am obliged to go up by the first train on Monday morning. I have a business appointment that I'm anxious to miss.
Couldn't you miss it anywhere but in London?
No, the appointment is in London.
Well, I know, of course, how important it is not to keep a business engagement if one wants to retain any sense of the beauty of life. But still, I think you had better wait until Uncle Jack arrives. I know he wants to speak to you about your emigrating.
About my what?
Your emigrating. He has gone up to buy your outfit.
I certainly wouldn't let Jack buy my outfit. He has no taste in neckties at all.
I don't think you will require neckties. Uncle Jack is sending you to Australia.
Australia? I'd sooner die.
Well, he said at dinner on Wednesday night that you would have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
Oh, well, the accounts I have received of Australia and the next world are not really encouraging. This world is good enough for me, Cousin Cecily.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
I'm afraid I'm not that. That is why I want you to reform me. You might make that your mission, if you don't mind, Cousin Cecily.
How dare you suggest that I have a mission?
I beg your pardon, but I thought that every woman had a mission of some kind nowadays.
Every female has, no woman. Besides, I have no time to reform you this afternoon.
Well, would you mind my reforming myself this afternoon?
It is rather quixotic of you, but I think you should try.
I will. I feel better already.
You are looking a little worse.
That is because I am hungry.
How thoughtless of me. I should have remembered that when one is going to lead an entirely new life, one requires regular and wholesome meals. Miss Prism and I lunch at 2 off some roast mutton.
I fear that would be too rich for me.
Uncle Jack, whose health has been sadly undermined by the late hours you keep in town, has been ordered by his London doctor to have pâté de foie gras sandwiches and 1889 champagne at 12. I don't know if such invalid fare would suit you.
Oh, I will be quite content with 89 champagne.
I'm glad to see you have such simple tastes. This is the dining room.
Thank you. Might I have a buttonhole first? I never have any appetite unless I have a buttonhole first.
A Maréchal Niel?
No, I'd sooner have a pink rose.
Why?
Because you are like a pink rose, Cousin Cecily.
I don't think it can be right for you to talk to me like that. Miss Prism never says such things to me.
Then Miss Prism is a short-sighted old lady. You are the prettiest girl I ever saw.
Miss Prism says that all good looks are a snare.
They are a snare that every sensible man would like to be caught in.
Oh, I don't think I would care to catch a sensible man. I shouldn't know what to talk to him about.
Oh, you are too much alone, dear Dr. Chasuble. You should get married. A misanthrope I can understand. A womanthrope never.
Oh, believe me, I do not deserve so neologistic a phrase. The precept as well as the practice of the primitive church was distinctly against matrimony.
Well, that is obviously the reason why the primitive church has not lasted up to the present day. You do not seem to realize, dear doctor, that by persistently remaining single, a man converts himself into a permanent public temptation. Oh, men should be more careful. This very celibacy leads weaker vessels astray.
Oh, but is a man not equally attractive when married?
No married man is ever attractive except to his wife.
Yes, and often I've been told not even to her.
That depends on the intellectual sympathies of the woman. Maturity can always be depended on. Ripeness can be trusted. Young women are green.
Green?
I spoke horticulturally. My metaphor was drawn from fruit. But where is Cecily?
Perhaps she followed us to the schools.
Mr. Worthing.
Mr. Worthing.
This is indeed a surprise. We did not look for you till Monday afternoon.
I have returned sooner than I expected. Dr. Chasuble, I hope you are well.
Oh, dear Mr. Worthing, I trust this garb of woe does not betoken some terrible calamity.
My brother.
More shameful debts and extravagance?
Still leading his life of pleasure.
Dead.
Your brother Ernest dead?
Quite dead.
What a lesson for him. I trust he will profit by it.
Death is the inheritance of us all, Miss Prism. Nor should we look on it as a special judgment, but rather as a general providence. Life were incomplete without it. Mr. Worthing, I offer you my sincere condolence. You have at least the consolation of knowing that you were always the most generous and forgiving of brothers.
Poor Ernest. He had many faults, but it is a sad, sad blow.
Very sad indeed. Were you with him at the end?
No. He died abroad, in Paris, in fact. I had a telegram last night from the manager of the hotel.
Was the cause of death mentioned?
A severe chill, it seems.
As a man sows, so shall he reap.
Charity, dear Miss Prism, charity. None of us are perfect. I myself am peculiarly susceptible to drafts. Will the interment take place here?
No. He seems to have expressed a desire to be buried in Paris.
In Paris? I fear that hardly points to a very serious state of mind at the last. Now, you would no doubt wish me to make some slight allusion to this tragic domestic affliction next Sunday. My sermon on the meaning of the manner in the wilderness can be adapted to almost any occasion, joyful or, as in the present case, distressing. I have preached it at harvest celebrations, christenings, confirmations, on days of humiliation and festal days. The last time I delivered it was in the cathedral, as a charity sermon on behalf of the Society for the Prevention of Discontent amongst the upper orders. The bishop who was present was much struck by some of the analogies I drew.
Oh, that reminds me. You mentioned christenings, I think, Dr. Chasuble. I suppose you know how to christen all right.
Right?
I mean, of course, you're continually christening, aren't you?
It is, I regret to say, one of the rector's most constant duties in this parish. I have often spoken to the poorer classes on the subject, but they don't seem to know what thrift is.
The Church rejects no babe, Miss Prism. In every child there is the making of a saint. But is there any particular infant in whom you are interested, Mr. Worthing? Your brother was, I believe, unmarried, or is he not?
Oh, yes.
People who live entirely for pleasure usually are.
But it is not for any child, dear Doctor. I'm very fond of children. No, the fact is, I would like to be christened myself this afternoon, if you have nothing better to do.
But surely, Mr. Worthing, you have been christened already.
I don't remember anything about it.
But have you any grave doubts on the subject?
I have the very gravest doubts. There are circumstances, unnecessary to mention at present, connected with my birth and early life that make me think I was a good deal neglected. I certainly wasn't properly looked after, at any rate. Of course, I don't know if the thing would bother you in any way, or if you think I am a little too old now.
Oh, I am not by any means a bigoted pedo-Baptist. The sprinkling and indeed the immersion of adults was a common practice of the primitive church.
Immersion? You don't mean
No,
to say
you
that
need have no apprehension. Sprinkling is all that is necessary, or indeed I think advisable. Our weather is so changeable. Now, at what hour would you wish the ceremony performed?
Oh, I might trot round about 5, if that would suit you.
Perfectly, perfectly. In fact, I have 2 similar ceremonies to perform at that time. A case of twins that occurred recently in one of the outlying cottages on your own estate. Poor Jenkins the carter, a most hard-working man. Yes, but I do not know, however, if you would care to join them at the font. Personally, I do not approve myself of the obliteration of class distinctions. I think they were ordained for our profit and instruction.
Oh, I don't see much fun in being christened along with other babies. It would be childish. Would 5:30 do?
Admirably, admirably. And now, dear Mr. Worthing, I will not intrude any longer into a house of sorrow. I would merely beg you not to be too much bowed down by grief. What seem to us bitter trials are often blessings in disguise.
This seems to me a blessing of an extremely obvious kind.
Uncle Jack! Oh, I am pleased to see you back. But what horrid clothes you have got on. Do go and change them.
My child, my child.
What's the matter, Uncle Jack? Do look happy. You look as if you had toothache, and I've got such a surprise for you. Who do you think is in the dining room? Your brother.
What? Who?
Your brother Ernest, he arrived about half an hour ago.
Oh, what nonsense. I haven't got a brother.
Oh, don't say that. However badly he may have behaved to you in the past, he is still your brother. You couldn't be so heartless as to disown him. I'll tell him to come out, and you will shake hands with him, won't you, Uncle Jack?
These are very joyful tidings. That telegram from Paris seems to have been a somewhat heartless jest by one who wished to play upon your feelings.
After we'd all been resigned to his loss, his sudden return seems to me peculiarly distressing.
My brother is in the dining room? I don't know what it all means. I think it is perfectly absurd. Good heavens.
Brother John, I've come down from town to tell you that I'm very sorry for all the trouble I've given you and that I intend to lead a better life in the future.
There is good in that young man. He seems to be sincerely repentant.
These sudden conversions do not please me. They belong to dissent. They savour the laxity of the nonconformist.
Uncle Jack, you're not going to refuse your own brother's hand.
Nothing will induce me to take his hand. I think he's coming down here disgraceful. He knows perfectly well why.
Young man, you have had a very narrow escape of your life. I hope it will be a warning to you. We were mourning your demise when you entered.
Yes, I see Jack has got a new suit of clothes. They don't fit him properly. His necktie wrong.
Uncle Jack, do be nice. There is some good in everyone. Ernest has just been telling me about his poor invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, whom he goes to visit so often. And surely there must be some good in one who is kind to an invalid and leaves the pleasures of London to sit by a bed of pain.
Oh, he has been talking about Bunbury, has he?
Yes, he has told me all about poor Mr. Bunbury and his terrible state of health.
Bunbury. Well, I won't have him talk to you about Bunbury or about anything else. It is enough to drive one perfectly frantic.
No, Mr. Worthing, your brother has been unexpectedly restored to you by the mysterious dispensations of Providence, who seems to desire your reconciliation. And indeed it is good for brothers to dwell together in amity.
Oh, of course, I admit that the faults were all on my side, but I must say that I think that Brother John's coldness to me is peculiarly painful. I expected a warmer welcome, especially considering it's the first time I have been here.
Uncle Jack, if you don't shake hands with Ernest, I will never forgive you.
Never forgive me?
Never, never, never.
I suppose I must, then. You young scoundrel, you must get out of this place as soon as possible. I don't allow any Bunbury in here.
It's pleasant, is it not, to see so perfect a reconciliation? You have done a beautiful action today, dear child.
We must not be premature in our judgments.
I have put Mr. Ernest's things in the room next to yours, sir. I suppose that is all right?
What?
Mr. Ernest's luggage, sir. I have unpacked it and put it in the room next to your own.
His luggage?
Yes, sir. 3 portmanteaus, a dressing case, 2 hat boxes, and a large luncheon basket.
I'm afraid I can't stay more than a week this time.
I beg your pardon, sir. There is an elderly gentleman who wishes to see you.
To see me?
Yes, sir. He has just come in a cab from the station. His card, sir.
Parker and Gribsby solicitors. I don't know anything about them. Who are they?
Parker and Gribsby? I wonder who they can be. I expect, Ernest, they have come about some business for your friend Bunbury. Perhaps Bunbury wants to make his will and wishes you to be executor. Show the gentleman in at once.
Very good, sir.
I hope, Ernest, that I may rely on the statement that you made to me last week when I finally settled all your bills for you. I hope you have no outstanding accounts of any kind.
I haven't any debts at all, dear Jack. Thanks to your generosity, I don't owe a penny except a few neckties, I believe.
I am sincerely glad to hear it.
Mr. Gribsby.
Mr. Ernest Worthing? No.
There is Mr. Ernest Worthing.
Mr. Ernest Worthing?
Yes.
Of B4 the Albany?
Yes, that is my address.
I am very sorry, sir, but we have a writ of attachment for 20 days against you at the suit of the Savoy Hotel Company Limited for £762, 14 shillings and 2 pence.
Against me?
Yes, sir.
What perfect nonsense. I never dine at the Savoy at my own expense. I always dine at Willis's. It is far more expensive. I don't owe a penny to the Savoy.
The writ is marked as having been served on you personally at the Albany on May the 27th. Judgment was given in default against you on the 5th of June. Since then, we have written to you no less than 15 times without receiving any reply. In the interest of our clients, we had no option but to obtain an order for committal of your person.
Committal? What on earth do you mean by committal? I haven't the smallest intention of going away. I'm staying here for a week. I'm staying with my brother. If you imagine that I'm going up to town the moment I arrive, you are extremely mistaken.
I am merely a solicitor myself. I do not employ personal violence of any kind.
The officer of the court, whose function it is to seize the person of the debtor, is waiting in the fly outside. He has considerable experience in these matters. In point of fact, he has arrested in the course of his duties nearly all the younger sons of the aristocracy, as well as several eldest sons, besides, of course, a good many members of the House of Lords. His style and manner are considered extremely good. Indeed, he looks more like a betting man than a court official. That is why we always employ him. But no doubt you will prefer to pay the bill.
Pay it? How on earth am I going to do that? You don't suppose I've got any money? How perfectly silly you are. No gentleman ever has any money.
My experience is that it is usually relations who pay.
Jack, you really must settle this bill.
Kindly allow me to see the particular items, Mr. Gribsby.
Certainly, sir.
£762, 14 shillings and 2 pence since last October? I'm bound to say I never saw such reckless extravagance in all my life.
£762 for eating? There can be little good in any young man who eats so much and so often.
We are far away from Wordsworth's plain living and high thinking.
Now, Dr. Chasuble, do you consider that I am in any way called upon to pay this monstrous account for my brother?
I'm bound to say that I do not think so. It would be encouraging his profligacy.
As a man sows, so let him reap. This proposed incarceration might be most salutary. It is to be regretted that it is only for 20 days.
I am quite of your opinion.
My dear fellow, how ridiculous you are. You know perfectly well that this bill is really yours.
Mine?
Yes, you know it is.
Mr. Worthing, if this is a jest, it is out of place.
It is gross effrontery. Just what I expected of him.
And it is ingratitude. I didn't expect that.
Never mind what he says. This is the way he always goes on. You mean now to say that you are not Ernest Worthing, residing at B4, the Albany? I wonder, as you are at it, that you don't deny being my brother at all. Why don't you?
Oh, I'm not going to do that, my dear fellow. It would be absurd. Of course I'm your brother, and that is why you should pay this bill for me. What is the use of having a brother if he doesn't pay one's bills for one?
Personally, if you ask me, I don't see any use in having a brother. As for paying a bill, I will tell you quite candidly that I have not the smallest intention of doing anything of the kind. Dr. Chasuble, the worthy rector of this parish, and Miss Prism, in whose admirable and sound judgment I place great reliance, are both of the opinion that incarceration would do you a great deal of good, and I think so too.
I am sorry to disturb this pleasant family meeting, but time passes. We have to be at Holloway not later than 4 o'clock. Otherwise, it is difficult to obtain admission. The rules are very strict.
Holloway?
It is at Holloway that detentions of this character take place always.
Well, I really am not going to be imprisoned in the suburbs for having dined in the West End.
The bill is for suppers, not for dinner.
I really don't care. All I say is that I'm not going to be imprisoned in the suburbs.
The surroundings, I admit, are middle class, but the jail itself is fashionable and well aired, and there are ample opportunities of taking exercise at certain stated hours of the day. In the case of a medical certificate, which is always easy to obtain, the hours can be extended.
Exercise? Good God, no gentleman ever takes exercise. You don't seem to understand what a gentleman is.
I have met so many of them, sir, that I'm afraid I don't. There are the most curious varieties, often the result of cultivation, no doubt. Will you kindly come now, sir, if it will not be inconvenient to you?
Jack?
Pray be firm, Mr. Worthing.
This is an occasion on which any weakness would be out of place. It would be a form of self-deception.
I am quite firm, and I don't know what weakness or deception of any kind is.
Uncle Jack, I think you have a little money of mine, haven't you? Let me pay this bill. I wouldn't like your own brother to be in prison.
Oh, I couldn't possibly let you pay it, Cecily. That would be absurd.
Then you will, won't you? I think you would be sorry if you thought your own brother was shut up. Of course, I'm quite disappointed with him.
You won't speak to him again, Cecily, will you?
Certainly not. Unless, of course, he speaks to me first. It would be very rude not to answer him.
Well, I'll take care he doesn't speak to you. I'll take care he doesn't speak to anybody in this house. The man should be cut. Mr. Gribsby.
Yes, sir.
I'll pay this bill for my brother. It is the last bill I shall ever pay for him, too. How much is it?
£762, 14 shillings and 2 pence. May I ask your full name, sir?
Mr. John Worthing, J.P., the Manor House, Woolton. Does that satisfy you?
Oh, certainly, sir. Certainly it was a mere formality. Handsome place, dear lady. The cab will be 5 and 9 pence extra, hired for the convenience of the client.
All right.
I must say, I think such generosity quite foolish.
No, the heart has its wisdom as well as the head, Miss Prism.
Payable to Parker and Gribsby, I suppose?
Yes, sir. Kindly don't cross the cheque. Thank you. Good day. Good day. I hope I shall have the pleasure of meeting you again, sir.
I sincerely hope not. What ideas you have of the sort of society a gentleman wants to mix in. No gentleman ever wants to know a solicitor who wants to imprison one in the suburbs.
Quite so, quite so.
By the way, Gribsby.
Yes, sir.
Gribsby, you are not to go back to the station in that cab. That is my cab. It was taken for my convenience. You have got to walk to the station, and a very good thing, too. Solicitors don't walk nearly enough. I don't know any solicitor who takes sufficient exercise. As a rule, they sit in stuffy offices all day long, neglecting their business.
You can take the cab, Mr. Gribsby.
Thank you, sir.
The day is getting very sultry, isn't it, Dr. Chasuble?
There is thunder in the air.
The atmosphere requires to be cleared.
Have you read the Times this morning, Mr. Worthing? There's a very interesting article on the growth of religious feeling among the laity.
I'm keeping it for after dinner.
Luncheon is on the table, sir.
Ah, that is good news. I am excessively hungry.
But you have lunched already.
Lunched already?
Yes, Uncle Jack. He had some pâté de foie gras sandwiches and a small bottle of that champagne that your doctor ordered for you.
My 89 champagne?
Yes. I thought you would like him to have the same one as yourself.
Oh, well, if he has lunched once, he can't be expected to lunch twice. It would be absurd.
To partake of 2 luncheons in one day would not be liberty. It would be license.
Even the pagan philosophers condemned excess in eating. Aristotle speaks of it with severity, uses the same terms about it as he does about usury.
Doctor, will you escort the ladies into luncheon?
Oh, with pleasure.
Your bunburying has not been a great success after all, Algy. I don't think it is a good day for bunburying myself.
Oh, there are ups and downs in bunburying, just as there are in everything else. I'd be all right if you'd let me have some lunch. The main thing is that I've seen Cecily, and she is a darling.
You are not to talk of Miss Cardew like that. I don't like it.
Well, I don't like your clothes. Perfectly ridiculous in them. Why on earth don't you go up and change? It's perfectly childish to be in deep mourning for a man who is actually staying for a whole week with you in your house as a guest. I call it grotesque.
You are certainly not staying with me for a whole week as a guest or anything else. You have got to leave by the 4:05 train.
I certainly won't leave you so long as you're in mourning. It would be most unfriendly. If I were in mourning, you would stay with me, I suppose. I should think it very unkind if you didn't.
Well, will you go if I change my clothes?
Yes, if you're not too long. I never saw anybody take so long to dress and with such little result.
Well, at any rate, that is better than being always overdressed as you are.
If I am occasionally a little overdressed, I make up for it by being always immensely overeducated.
Your vanity is ridiculous. Your conduct an outrage, and your presence in my garden utterly absurd. However, you have got to catch the 4:05, and I hope you will have a pleasant journey back to town. This bunburying, as you call it, has not been a great success for you.
I think it's been a great success. I'm in love with Cecily, and that is everything. It's all very well, but one can't bunbury when one's hungry. I think I'll join them at lunch. Cecily.
I promised Uncle Jack that I wouldn't speak to you again. Unless you ask me a question. I can't understand why you don't ask me a question of some kind. I'm afraid you're not quite so intellectual as I thought you were at first.
Cecily, mayn't I come into lunch?
I wonder you can look me in the face after your conduct.
I love looking you in the face.
But why did you try to put your horrid bill on poor Uncle Jack? I think that was inexcusable of you.
I know it was, but the fact is I have a most wretched memory. I quite forgot I owed the Savoy £762, 14 shillings and 2 pence.
Well, I admit I'm glad to hear that you have a bad memory. Good memories are not a quality that women admire much in men.
Cecily, I am fearfully hungry.
I can't understand your being so hungry, considering all you have had to eat since last October.
No, those suppers were for poor Bunbury. Late suppers are the only things his doctors allow him to eat.
Well, I don't wonder then that Mr. Bunbury is always so ill, if he eats suppers for 6 or 8 people every night of the week.
But that is what I always tell him. But he seems to think his doctors know best. He's perfectly silly about doctors.
Of course, I don't want you to starve. so I have told the butler to send you out some lunch.
Cecily, what a perfect angel you are. May I not see you again before I go?
Miss Prism and I will be here after lunch. I always have my afternoon lessons under the yew tree.
Can't you invent something to get Miss Prism out of the way?
Do you mean invent a falsehood?
Oh, not a falsehood, of course. Simply something that is not quite true, but should be.
I'm afraid I couldn't possibly do that. I shouldn't know how. People never think of cultivating a young girl's imagination. It is the great defect of modern education. Of course, if you happened to mention that dear Dr. Chasuble was waiting somewhere to see Miss Prism, she would certainly go to meet him. She never likes to keep him waiting, and she has so few opportunities of doing so.
What a capital suggestion.
I didn't suggest anything, Cousin Ernest. Nothing would induce me to deceive Miss Prism in the smallest detail. I merely pointed out that if you adopted a certain line of conduct, a certain result would follow.
Of course. I beg your pardon, Cousin Cicely. Then I shall come here at 3:30. I have something very serious to say to you.
Serious?
Yes, very serious.
Well, in that case, I think we had better meet in the house. I don't like talking seriously in the open air. It looks so artificial.
Well, then where shall we meet?
The dog cart is at the door.
Oh.
You have got to go. Your place is by Bunbury. Cicely, don't you think, Cicely, that you had better return to Miss Prism and Dr. Chasuble?
Yes, Uncle Jack. Goodbye, Cousin Ernest. I'm afraid I shan't see you again, as I shall be doing my lessons with Miss Prism in the drawing room at 3:30.
Goodbye, Cousin Cicely. You have been very kind to me.
Now look here, Algy, you have got to go, and the sooner you go the better. Bunbury is extremely ill, and your place is by his side.
I can't go at the present moment. I must first just have my second lunch. And you will be pleased to hear that Bunbury is very much better.
Well, you will have to go at 3:50 at any rate. I ordered your things to be packed and the dog cart to come round.
Cecily,
Miss
you are again making
Prism.
entries in your diary.
Yes.
I think I've had occasion more than once to speak to you about that morbid habit of yours.
I'm merely, as I always do, taking you for my example, Miss Prism.
When one has thoroughly mastered the principles of bimetallism, one has the right to lead an introspective life. Hardly before. I must beg you to return to your political economy.
In one moment, dear Miss Prism. The fact is, I have only chronicled the events of today up till 2:15, and it was at 2:30 that the fearful catastrophe occurred.
Pardon me, Cecily. It was exactly at 2:45 that Dr. Chasuble mentioned the very painful views held by the primitive church on marriage.
I was not referring to Dr. Chasuble at all. I was alluding to the tragic exposure of poor Mr. Ernest Worthing.
Highly disapprove of Mr. Ernest Worthing. He's a thoroughly bad young man.
I fear he must be. It is the only explanation I can find of his strange attractiveness.
Cecily, let me entreat of you not to be led away by whatever superficial qualities this unfortunate young man may possess.
Ah, believe me, dear Miss Prism, it is only the superficial qualities that last. Man's deeper nature is soon found out.
Child, I do not know where you get such ideas. They're certainly not to be found in any of the improving books that I have procured for you.
Are there ever any ideas in improving books? I fear not. I get my ideas in the garden.
Then you should certainly not be so much in the open air. The fact is, Cecily, you have fallen lately into a bad habit of thinking for yourself. You should give it up. It is not quite womanly. Men don't like it. Oh, yes. Mr. Worthing, I thought, I may say, I was in hopes that you had already returned to town.
My departure will not long be delayed. I have come to bid you goodbye, Miss Cardew. I am informed that a dog cart has already been ordered for me. I have no option but to go back again into the cold world.
I hardly know, Mr. Worthing, what you can mean by using such an expression. The day, even for the month of July, is unusually warm.
Profligacy is apt to dull the senses.
No doubt. I am far from defending the weather. I think, however, that it is only my duty to mention to you, Miss Prism, that Dr. Chasuble is expecting you in the vestry.
In the vestry? That sounds serious. It can hardly be for any trivial purpose that the rector selects for an interview a place of such peculiarly solemn associations. I do not think that it would be right to keep him waiting, Cecily.
It would be very, very wrong. The vestry is, I am told, excessively damp.
True. I had not thought of that. And Dr. Chasuble is sadly rheumatic. Mr. Worthing, we shall probably not meet again. You will allow me, I trust, to express a sincere hope that you will now turn over a new leaf in life.
I have already begun an entire volume, Miss Prism.
I'm delighted to hear it. Now, where is my hat? And do not forget that there's always hope, even for the most depraved. Do not be idle, Cecily.
I have no intention of being idle. I realise only too strongly that I have a great deal of serious work before me.
That is quite as it should be.
This parting, Miss Cardew, is very painful.
It is always painful to part from people whom one has known for a very brief space of time. The absence of old friends one can endure with equanimity, but even a momentary separation from anyone to whom one has just been introduced is almost unbearable.
Thank you.
The dog cart is at the door, sir.
Cecily?
It can wait, Merriman, for 5 minutes.
Yes, miss.
I hope, Cecily, I shall not offend you if I state quite frankly and openly that you seem to me to be in every way the visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you will allow me, I will copy your remarks into my diary.
Do you really keep a diary?
Of course, I'm very fond of history.
I'd give anything to look at your diary. May I?
Oh, no. You see, it is simply a very young girl's record of her own thoughts and impressions, and consequently meant for publication. When it appears in volume form, I hope you will order a copy. But pray, Ernest, don't stop. I delight in taking down from dictation. I have reached absolute perfection. You can go on. I'm quite ready for more. Oh, don't cough, Ernest. When one is dictating, one should speak fluently and not cough. Besides, I don't know how to spell a cough. I know it is done by realistic English novelists who, on the approach of any psychological difficulty, always take refuge in dialect. But I don't think it ever looks quite nice on a page.
Miss Cardew, ever since 12:30 this afternoon,
12:30 this afternoon.
when I first looked upon your wonderful and incomparable beauty,
Wonderful.
I have not merely been your abject slave and servant, but soaring upon the pinions of a possibly monstrous ambition, I have dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly.
Oh, please say that all over again. You speak far too fast and far too indistinctly. Kindly say it all over again.
Miss Cardew, ever since you were 12:30,
I-
ever since it was 12:30 this afternoon, when I first looked upon your wonderful and incomparable beauty,
Yes, I've got that all right. Oh, Ernest.
I have not merely been your abject slave and servant,
Abject slave.
but soaring on the pinions of a possibly monstrous ambition,
Possibly monstrous.
I have dared to love you, wildly, passionately, devotedly,
Wildly,
hopelessly.
Passionately, devotedly. I have not taken down hopelessly. It doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
Cecily,
Is that the beginning of an entirely new paragraph, or should it be followed by a note of admiration?
it is the beginning of an entirely new existence for me, and it shall be followed by such notes of admiration that my whole life shall be a subtle and sustained symphony of love, praise, adoration combined.
Oh, I don't think that makes any sense at all. The fact is that men should never try to dictate to women. They never know how to do it, and when they do it, they always say something particularly foolish.
I don't care whether what I say is foolish or not. All I know is that I love you, Cecily. I love you. I want you. I can't live without you, Cecily. You know that I love you. Will you marry me? Will you be my wife?
Oh, you have made me make a blot. And yours is the only real proposal I've ever had in all my life. I should have liked to have ended it neatly.
The dog cart is waiting, sir.
But tell it to come round next week at the same hour.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying on till next week at the same hour.
Oh, I don't care about Jack. I don't care about anybody in the whole world but you. I love you, Cecily. You will marry me, won't you?
You silly boy, of course. Why, we've been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months?
3 months, all but a few days. Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
I didn't know.
Oh, very few people nowadays ever realise the position in which they are placed. The age is, as Miss Prism often says, a thoughtless one.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And, of course, a man who is much talked about is always very attractive. One feels there must be something in him, after all. I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
Darling. And when was the engagement actually settled?
On the 14th of February last. Worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I determined to end the matter one way or the other, and after a long struggle with myself, I accepted you one evening in the garden. The next day I bought this little ring in your name. You see, I always wear it, Ernest, and though it shows you are sadly extravagant, still I have long ago forgiven you for that. Here in this drawer are all the little presents I have given you from time to time, neatly numbered and labelled. This is the pearl necklace you gave me on my birthday, and this is the box in which I keep all your letters.
My letters? But my own sweet Cecily, I've never written you any letters.
You need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember it only too well. I grew tired of asking the postman every morning if he had a London letter for me. My health began to give way under the strain and anxiety. So I wrote your letters for you and had them posted to me in the village by my maid. I wrote always 3 times a week, and sometimes oftener. Indeed, but for your letters, I would not have been able to endure the fact of my never having met you at all.
Oh, do let me read them, Cecily.
Oh, I couldn't possibly. They would make you far too conceited. The 3 you wrote me after I had broken off the engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelt that even now I can hardly read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement ever broken off?
Of course it was. On the 22nd of last March. You can see the entry if you like. Today I broke off my engagement with Ernest. I feel it is better to do so. The weather still continues charming.
But why on earth did you break it off? What had I done? I had done nothing at all. Cecily, I'm very much hurt indeed to hear that you broke it off, particularly when the weather was so charming.
Men seem to forget very easily. I should have thought you would have remembered the violent letter you wrote to me because I danced with Lord Kelso at the county ball.
But I did take it all back, Cecily, didn't I?
Of course you did. Otherwise I wouldn't have forgiven you, or accepted this little gold bangle with the turquoise and diamond heart that you sent me the next day.
Did I give you this, Cecily? It's very pretty, isn't it?
Yes, you have wonderfully good taste, Ernest. I've always said that of you. It's the excuse I've always given for your leading such a bad life.
Oh, my own one. So we have been engaged for 3 months, Cecily?
Yes. How the time has flown, hasn't it?
I don't think so. I found the days very long and very dreary without you.
Oh, you dear romantic boy. I hope your hair curls naturally, does it?
Yes, darling, with a little help from others.
I am so glad.
You'll never break off our engagement again, Cecily.
I don't think that I could break it off, now that I have actually met you. Besides, of course, there is the question of your name.
Yes, of course.
You must not laugh at me, darling, but it had always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name was Ernest.
Oh.
There is something in that name that seems to inspire absolute confidence. I pity any poor married woman whose husband is not called Ernest.
But, my dear child, do you mean to say that you could not love me if I had some other name?
But what name?
Oh, any name you like. Algernon, for instance.
But I don't like the name of Algernon.
Oh, well, my own dear, sweet, loving little darling, I really can't see why you should object to the name of Algernon. It's not at all a bad name. In fact, it's rather an aristocratic name. Half the chaps who get into the bankruptcy court are called Algernon. But seriously, Cecily, if my name was Algy, couldn't you love me?
I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character. But I fear that I should not be able to give you my undivided attention.
Cecily, your rector here is, I suppose, thoroughly experienced in the practice of all the rites and ceremonials of the church.
Oh, yes, Dr. Chasuble is a most learned man. He has never written a single book, so you can imagine how much he knows.
I must see him at once on a most important christening. I mean on most important business.
Oh.
I shan't be away more than half an hour, darling.
Considering that we have been engaged since February the 14th, and that I only met you today for the first time, I think it is rather hard that you should leave me for so long a period as half an hour. Couldn't you make it 20 minutes?
I'll be back in no time.
Oh, what an impetuous boy he is. I like his hair so much. I must enter his proposal in my diary.
Miss Fairfax has just called to see Mr. Worthing. On very important business, Miss Fairfax states.
Isn't Mr. Worthing in his library?
Mr. Worthing went over in the direction of the rectory some time ago.
Oh, pray ask the lady to come in here. Mr. Worthing is sure to be back soon. And you can bring tea.
Yes, miss.
Miss Fairfax. I suppose one of the many good elderly women who were associated with Uncle Jack in some of his philanthropic work in London. I don't quite like women who are interested in philanthropic work. I think it is so forward of them.
Miss Fairfax.
Pray let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew, what a very sweet name. Something tells me that we're going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after we have known each other such a comparatively short time. Pray sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure.
And you will always call me Gwendolen, won't you?
If you wish.
Then that is all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Oh, perhaps this might be a favourable opportunity for my mentioning who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. You have never heard of Papa, I suppose?
I don't think so.
Outside the family circle, Papa, I'm glad to say, is entirely unknown. I think that is quite as it should be. The home seems to me to be the proper sphere for the man, and certainly once a man begins to neglect his domestic duties, he becomes painfully effeminate, does he not? And I don't like that. It makes men so very attractive. Cecily, Mamma, whose views on education are remarkably strict, has brought me up to be extremely short-sighted. It is part of her system. So, do you mind my looking at you through my glasses?
Oh, not at all, Gwendolen. I'm very fond of being looked at.
You are here on a short visit, I suppose.
Oh, no, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some female relative of advanced years resides here also?
Oh, no. I have no mother, nor in fact any relations.
Indeed.
My dear guardian, with the assistance of Miss Prism, has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Yes. I am Mr. Worthing's ward.
Oh. It is strange. He never mentioned to me that he had a ward. How secretive of him. He grows more interesting hourly. I am not sure, however, that the news inspires me with feelings of unmixed delight. I am very fond of you, Cecily. I have liked you ever since I met you. But I am bound to state that now I know that you are Mr. Worthing's ward, I cannot help expressing a wish that you were, well, just a little older than you seem to be, and not quite so very alluring in appearance. In fact, if I may speak candidly...
Pray do. I think that whenever one has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Well, to speak with perfect candour, Cecily, I wish that you were fully 42 and more than unusually plain for your age. Ernest has a strong, upright nature. He is the very soul of truth and honour. Disloyalty would be as impossible to him as deception, but even men of the noblest possible moral character are extremely susceptible to the influence of the physical charms of others. Modern, no less than ancient history supplies us with many most painful examples of what I refer to. If it were not so, indeed, history would be quite unreadable.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolen. Did you say Ernest?
Yes.
Oh, but it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
Ernest never mentioned to me that he had a brother.
I am sorry to say they have not been on good terms for a long time.
Ah. Oh, that accounts for it. And now that I think of it, I have never heard any man mention his brother. The subject seems distasteful to most men. Cecily, you have lifted a load from my mind. I was growing almost anxious. It would have been terrible if any cloud had come across a friendship like ours, would it not? Of course, you are quite sure that it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is your guardian?
Quite sure. In fact, I am going to be his.
I beg your pardon?
Dearest Gwendolen, there is no reason why I should make a secret of it to you. Our little county newspaper is sure to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
My Darling Cecily, I think there must be some slight error. Mr. Ernest Worthing is engaged to me. The announcement will appear in the Morning Post on Saturday at the latest.
I am afraid you must be under some misconception. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago. It is here in my diary.
Yes, it is certainly very curious, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you would care to verify the incident, pray do so. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read in the train. I am so sorry, dear Cecily, if it is any disappointment to you, but I am afraid I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dear Gwendolen, if it caused you any mental or physical anguish. But I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, he clearly has changed his mind.
If the poor fellow has been entrapped into any foolish promise, I shall consider it my duty to rescue him at once, and with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have got into, I will never reproach him with it after we are married.
Do you allude to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous. On an occasion of this kind, it becomes more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you? This is no time for wearing the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
I am glad to say that I have never seen a spade. It is obvious that our social spheres have been widely different.
Shall I lay tea here as usual, miss?
Yes, as usual.
Are there many interesting walks in the vicinity, Miss Cardew?
Oh, yes, a great many. From the top of one of the hills quite close, one can see 5 counties.
5 counties? I don't think I should like that. I hate crowds.
I suppose that is why you live in town?
Quite a charming room this is of yours, Miss Cardew.
So glad you like it, Miss
I
Fairfax.
had no idea there was anything approaching good taste in the more remote country districts. It is quite a surprise to me.
I am afraid you judge of the country from what one sees in town. I believe most London houses are extremely vulgar.
I suppose they do dazzle the rural mind. I had no idea there were any flowers in the country.
Oh, flowers are as common here as people are in London.
Personally, I cannot understand how anybody manages to exist in the country. If anybody who is anybody does. The country always bores me to death.
Ah, this is what the newspapers call agricultural depression, is it not? I believe the aristocracy are suffering very much from it just at present. It is almost an epidemic amongst them, I have been told. May I offer you some tea, Miss Fairfax?
Thank you. Detestable girl, but I require tea.
Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar is not fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter, please. Cake is rarely seen at the best houses nowadays.
Hand that to Miss Fairfax.
Yes, miss.
Oh! You have filled my tea with lumps of sugar. And though I asked most distinctly for bread and butter, you have given me cake. I am known for the gentleness of my disposition and the extraordinary sweetness of my nature, but I warn you, Miss Cardew, you may go too far.
To save my poor, innocent, trusting boy from the machinations of any other girl, there are no lengths to which I would not go.
From the moment I saw you, I distrusted you. I felt that you were false and deceitful. I am never deceived in such matters. My first impressions of people are invariably right.
It seems to me, Miss Fairfax, that I am trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt you have many other calls of a similar character to make in the neighbourhood.
Ernest, my own Ernest.
Gwendolen, darling.
A moment. May I ask if you are engaged to be married to this young lady?
Oh, to dear little Cecily? Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Oh, thank you. You may.
I knew there must be some misunderstanding, Miss Fairfax. The gentleman whose arm is at present round your waist is my guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg your pardon?
This is Uncle Jack.
Jack? Oh.
Here is Ernest.
My love.
A moment, Ernest. May I ask you, are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To what young lady? Good heavens, Gwendolen.
Yes, to good heavens, Gwendolen. I mean to Gwendolen.
Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may.
I felt there was some slight error, Miss Cardew. The gentleman who is now embracing you is my cousin, Mr. Algernon MoncricB.
Algernon MoncricB. Oh! Are you called Algernon?
I cannot deny it.
Oh!
Is your name really John?
I could deny anything if I liked, but my name certainly is John. It has been John for years.
A gross deception has been practiced on both of us.
My poor wounded Cecily.
My sweet wronged Gwendolen.
You will call me sister, will you not?
There is just one question I would like to be allowed to ask my guardian.
An admirable idea. Mr. Worthing, there is just one question I would like to be permitted to put to you. Where is your brother Ernest? We are both engaged to be married to your brother Ernest, so it is a matter of some importance to us to know where your brother Ernest is at present.
Gwendolen, Cecily, it is very painful for me to be forced to speak the truth. It is the first time in my life that I have ever been reduced to such a painful position, and I am really quite inexperienced in doing anything of the kind. However, I will tell you quite frankly that I have no brother Ernest. I have no brother at all. I never had a brother in my life, and I certainly have not the smallest intention of ever having one in the future.
No brother at all?
None.
Had you never a brother of any kind?
Never. Not even of any kind.
I am afraid it is quite clear, Cecily, that neither of us is engaged to be married to anyone.
It is not a very pleasant position for a young girl suddenly to find herself in, is it?
Let us go into the garden. They will hardly venture to come after us there.
No, men are so cowardly, aren't they?
Pretty mess you've got me into. What on earth do you mean by coming down here and pretending to be my brother? Perfectly monstrous of you.
What on earth do you mean by pretending to have a brother? It was absolutely disgraceful.
I told you to go away by the 3:50. I ordered the dog cart for you. Why on earth didn't you take it?
I hadn't had my tea.
Oh, this ghastly state of things is what you call bunburying, I suppose.
Yes, and a perfectly wonderful Bunbury it is. The most wonderful Bunbury I've ever had in my life.
Well, you've no right whatsoever to Bunbury here.
Well, that is absurd. One has a right to Bunbury anywhere one chooses. Every serious Bunburyist knows that.
Serious Bunburyist? Oh, good heavens.
Well, one must be serious about something if one wants to have any amusement in life. I happen to be serious about Bunburying. What on earth you are serious about, I haven't got the remotest idea. About everything, I should fancy. You have such an absolutely trivial nature.
Well, the only small satisfaction I have in the whole of this wretched business is that your friend Bunbury is quite exploded. You won't be able to run down to the country quite so often as you used to do, dear Algy. And a very good thing, too.
Your brother is a little off-colour, isn't he, dear Jack? You won't be able to disappear to London quite so frequently as your wicked custom was, and not a bad thing, either.
As for your conduct towards Miss Cardew, I must say that your taking in a sweet, simple, innocent girl like that is quite inexcusable. To say nothing of the fact that she is my ward.
I can see no possible defence at all for your deceiving a brilliant, clever, thoroughly experienced young lady like Miss Fairfax, to say nothing of the fact that she is my cousin.
I wanted to be engaged to Gwendolen, that is all. I love her.
Well, I simply wanted to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
There is certainly no chance of your marrying Miss Cardew.
I don't think there is much likelihood, Jack, of you and Miss Fairfax being united.
Well, that is no business of yours.
If it was my business, I wouldn't talk about it. It's very vulgar to talk about one's business. Only people like stockbrokers do that, and then merely at dinner parties.
How can you sit there, calmly eating muffins, when we are in this horrible trouble I can't make out? You seem to me to be perfectly heartless.
Well, I can't eat muffins in an agitated manner. The butter would probably get on my cuffs. One should always eat muffins quite calmly. It's the only way to eat them.
I say it's perfectly heartless you're eating muffins at all, under the circumstances.
When I'm in trouble, eating is the only thing that consoles me. Indeed, when I'm in really great trouble, as anyone who knows me intimately will tell you, I refuse everything, except food and drink. At the present moment, I'm eating muffins because I'm unhappy. Besides, I'm particularly fond of muffins.
Well, that is no reason why you should eat them all in that greedy way.
I wish you would have tea cake instead. I don't like tea cake.
Oh, good heavens, I suppose a man may eat his own muffins in his own house.
But you just said it was perfectly heartless to eat muffins.
I said it was perfectly heartless of you under the circumstances. That is a very different thing.
That may be, but the muffins are the same.
Algy, I wish to goodness you would go.
You can't possibly ask me to go without having some dinner? I mean, it's absurd. I never go without my dinner. No one ever does, except vegetarians and people like that. Besides, I have just made arrangements with Dr. Chasuble to be christened at 5:45 under the name of Ernest.
My dear fellow, the sooner you give up that nonsense, the better. I made arrangements this morning with Dr. Chasuble to be christened myself at 5:30, and I naturally will take the name of Ernest. Gwendolen would wish it. We can't both be christened Ernest. It's absurd. Besides, I have a perfect right to be christened if I like. There is no evidence at all that I have ever been christened by anybody. I should think it extremely probable I never was, and so does Dr. Chasuble. It is entirely different in your case. You have been christened already.
Yes, but I have not been christened for years.
Yes, but you have been christened. That is the important thing.
Quite so. So I know my constitution can stand it. If you're not quite sure about your ever having been christened, I must say I think it rather dangerous you're venturing on it now. It might make you very unwell. You can hardly have forgotten that someone very closely connected with you was very nearly carried off this week in Paris by a severe chill.
Yes. But you said yourself it was not hereditary, or anything of that kind.
It used to be, I know, but I dare say it is now. Science is always making wonderful improvements in things.
But may I ask, Algy, what on earth do you propose to do?
Nothing. That is what I've been trying to do for the last 10 minutes, and you've kept on doing everything in your power to distract my attention from my work.
Oh, that is nonsense. You're always talking nonsense.
It is much cleverer to talk nonsense than to listen to it, my dear fellow, and a much rarer thing, too, in spite of all the public may say.
I don't listen to you. I can't listen to you.
Oh, that is merely false modesty. You know perfectly well you could listen to me if you tried.
Oh.
You always underrate yourself, an absurd thing to do nowadays when there's such a lot of conceited people about. Jack, you are eating the muffins again. I wish you wouldn't. There are only 2 left. I told you, I am particularly fond of muffins.
But I hate tea cake.
No, why on earth do you allow tea cake to be served up to your guests, then? What ideas you have of hospitality.
No, that is not the point. We're not discussing tea cake. Algy, you are perfectly maddening. You never can stick to the point in any conversation.
No, it always hurts me.
Oh, good heavens, what affectation. I loathe affectation.
Well, my dear fellow, if you don't like affectation, I really don't see what you can like. Besides, it isn't affectation. The point always does hurt me. And I hate physical pain of any kind.
Algy, I have already told you to go. I don't want you here. Why don't you go?
I haven't quite finished my tea yet. And there is still 1 muffin left.
The fact that they did not follow us at once into the garden, as anyone else would have done, seems to me to show that they have some sense of shame left.
They have been eating muffins. That looks like repentance.
They don't seem to notice us at all. Couldn't you cough?
But I haven't got a cough.
They're looking at us. What effrontery.
They're approaching. That's very forward of them.
Let us preserve a dignified silence.
Certainly. It's the only thing to do now.
This dignified silence seems to produce an unpleasant effect.
A most distasteful one.
But we will not be the first to speak.
Certainly not.
Mr. Worthing, I have something very particular to ask you. Much depends on your reply.
Gwendolen, your common sense is invaluable. Mr. MoncricB, kindly answer me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
In order that I might have an opportunity of meeting you.
That certainly seems a satisfactory explanation, does it not?
Yes, dear, if you can believe him.
I don't, but that does not affect the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True. In matters of grave importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. Mr. Worthing, what explanation can you offer to me for pretending to have a brother? Was it in order that you might have an opportunity of coming up to town to see me as often as possible?
Can you doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
I have the greatest doubts upon the subject, but I intend to crush them. This is not the moment for German scepticism. Their explanations appear to be quite satisfactory, especially Mr. Worthing's. That seems to me to have the stamp of truth upon it.
I am more than content with what Mr. MoncricB said. His voice alone inspires one with absolute credulity.
Then you think we should forgive them?
Yes, I mean, no.
True. I had forgotten. There are principles at stake that one cannot surrender. Which of us should tell them? The task is not a pleasant one.
Could we not both speak at the same time?
An excellent idea. I always speak at the same time as other people. Will you take the time from me?
Certainly.
Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That is all.
Our Christian names? Is that all? But we are going to be christened this afternoon.
For my sake, you are prepared to do this terrible thing.
I am.
To please me, you are ready to face this fearful ordeal.
I am.
How absurd to talk of the equality of the sexes. Where questions of self-sacrifice are concerned, men are infinitely beyond us.
We are.
They have moments of physical courage of which we women know absolutely nothing.
Darling.
Darling.
Lady Bracknell.
Good heavens.
Gwendolen, what does this mean?
Merely that I am engaged to be married to Mr. Worthing, Mamma.
Come here. Sit down. Sit down immediately. Hesitation of any kind is a sign of mental decay in the young, of physical weakness in the old. Apprised, sir, of my daughter's sudden flight by her trusty maid, whose confidence I purchased by means of a small coin, I followed her at once by a luggage train. Her unhappy father is, I'm glad to say, under the impression that she is attending a more than usually lengthy lecture by the University Extension Scheme on the influence of a permanent income on thought. I do not propose to undeceive him. Indeed, I have never undeceived him on any question. I would consider it wrong. But of course you will clearly understand that all communication between yourself and my daughter must cease immediately from this moment. On this point, as indeed on all points, I am firm.
I am engaged to be married to Gwendolen, Lady Bracknell.
You are nothing of the kind, sir. And now as regards Algernon. Algernon?
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
May I ask if it is in this house that your invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, resides?
Oh, no. Bunbury doesn't live here. Bunbury is somewhere else at present. In fact, Bunbury is dead.
Dead? When did Mr. Bunbury die? His death must have been extremely sudden.
Oh, I killed Bunbury this afternoon. I mean, poor Bunbury died this afternoon.
What did he die of?
Bunbury? He was quite exploded.
Exploded? Was he the victim of a revolutionary outrage? I was not aware that Mr. Bunbury was interested in social legislation. If so, he is well punished for his morbidity.
Oh, I mean, he was found out. The doctors found out that Bunbury could not live. That is what I mean, so Bunbury died.
He seems to have had great confidence in the opinion of his physicians. I am glad, however, that he made up his mind at the last to some definite course of action and acted under proper medical advice. And now that we have finally got rid of this Mr. Bunbury, may I ask Mr. Worthing, who is that young person whose hand my nephew Algernon is now holding in what seems to me a peculiarly affectionate, not to say unnecessary manner?
That lady is Miss Cecily Cardew, my ward.
I am engaged to be married to Cecily, Aunt Augusta.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Moncrief and I are engaged to be married, Lady Bracknell.
I do not know whether there is anything peculiarly exciting in the air of this particular part of Hertfordshire, but the number of engagements that go on seems to me considerably above the proper average that statistics have laid down for our guidance. I think some preliminary inquiry on my part would not be out of place. Mr. Worthing, is Miss Cardew at all connected with any of the larger railway stations in London? I merely desire information. Until yesterday, I had no idea that there were any families or persons whose origin was a terminus.
Miss Cardew is the granddaughter of the late Mr. Thomas Cardew of 149 Belgrave Square, South-West, Gervais Park, Dorking, Surrey, and the Sporran, Fifeshire, North Britain.
That sounds not unsatisfactory. 3 addresses always inspire confidence, even in tradesmen. But what proof have I of their authenticity?
I have carefully preserved the court guides of the period. They are open to your inspection, Lady Bracknell.
I have known strange errors in that publication.
The Miss Cardew's family solicitors are Messrs. MoncricB and MoncricB of 149A, Lincoln's Inn Fields, Western Central District, London. I have no doubt they will be happy to supply you with any further information. The office hours are from 10 till 4.
MoncricB and MoncricB, a firm of the very highest position in their profession. Indeed, I am told that one of the Mr. MoncricBs is occasionally to be seen at dinner parties. So far, I am satisfied.
How extremely kind of you, Lady Bracknell. I have also in my possession, you will be pleased to hear, certificates of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, registration, vaccination, confirmation, and the measles. Both the German and the English variety.
A life crowded with incident, I see, though perhaps somewhat too exciting for a young girl. I am not myself in favour of premature experiences. Gwendolen, the time approaches for our departure. We have not a moment to lose. As a matter of form, Mr. Worthing, I had better ask you if Miss Cardew has any little fortune.
Oh, about £130,000 in the funds, that is all. Goodbye, Lady Bracknell. So pleased to have seen you.
A moment, Mr. Worthing. £130,000. And in the funds. Miss Cardew seems to me a most attractive young lady now that I look at her. Few girls of the present day have any really solid qualities, any of the qualities that last and improve with time. We live, I regret to say, in an age of surfaces. Come over here, dear. Pretty child. Your dress is sadly simple, and your hair seems almost as nature might have left it. But we can soon alter all that. A thoroughly experienced French maid produces a really marvellous result in a very brief space of time. I remember recommending one to young Lady Lancing, and after 3 months her own husband did not know her.
And after 6 months, nobody knew her.
Kindly turn round, sweet child. No, the side view is what I want. Yes, quite as I expected. There are distinct social possibilities in your profile. The two weak points in our age are its want of principle and its want of profile. The chin, a little higher, dear. Style largely depends on the way the chin is worn. They are worn very high just at present. Algernon?
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
There are distinct social possibilities in Miss Cardew's profile.
Cecily is the sweetest, dearest, prettiest girl in the whole world, and I don't care tuppence about social possibilities.
Never speak disrespectfully of society, Algernon. Only people who can't get into it do that. Dear child, of course you know that Algernon has nothing but his debts to depend upon, but I do not approve mercenary marriages. When I married Lord Bracknell, I had no fortune of any kind, but I never dreamed for a moment of allowing that to stand in my way. Well, I suppose I must give my consent.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Cecily, you may kiss me.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
You may also address me as Aunt Augusta for the future.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
The marriage, I think, had better take place quite soon.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
To speak frankly, I'm not in favour of long engagements. They give people the opportunity of finding out each other's character before marriage, which I think is never advisable.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you, Lady Bracknell, but this engagement is quite out of the question. I am Miss Cardew's guardian, and she cannot marry without my consent until she comes of age. That consent I absolutely decline to give.
Upon what grounds, may I ask? Algernon is an extremely, I may almost say an ostentatiously eligible young man. He has nothing, but he looks everything. What more can one desire?
It pains me very much to have to speak frankly to you, Lady Bracknell, about your nephew, but the fact is that I do not approve at all of his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful.
Oh, sir.
Untruthful? My nephew Algernon? Impossible. He's an Oxonian.
I fear there could be no possible doubt about the matter. This afternoon, during my temporary absence in London on an important question of romance, he obtained admission to my house by means of the false pretense of being my brother. Under an assumed name, he drank, I've just been informed by my butler, an entire pint bottle of my Perrier-Jouet Brut 89, wine I was specially reserving for myself. Continuing his disgraceful deception, he succeeded in the course of the afternoon in alienating the affections of my only ward. He subsequently stayed to tea and devoured every single muffin. And what makes his conduct all the more heartless is that he was perfectly well aware from the first that I have no brother, that I never had a brother, and that I don't intend to have a brother, not even of any kind. I distinctly told him so myself yesterday afternoon.
But dear Uncle Jack, for the last year you have been telling us all that you had a brother. You dwelt continually on the subject. Algy merely corroborated your statement. It was noble of him.
Pardon me, Cecily. You are a little too young to understand these matters. To invent anything at all is an act of sheer genius, and in a commercial age like ours shows considerable physical courage. Few of our modern novelists dare to invent a single thing. It is an open secret that they don't know how to do it. Upon the other hand, to corroborate a falsehood is a distinctly cowardly action. I know it is a thing that the newspapers do, one for the other, every day, but it is not the act of a gentleman. No gentleman ever corroborates anything.
Upon my word, Jack.
Mr. Worthing, after careful consideration, I have decided entirely to overlook my nephew's conduct to you.
That is very generous of you, Lady Bracknell. My own decision, however, is unalterable. I decline to give my consent.
Come here, sweet child. How old are you, dear?
Well, I'm really only 18, but I always admit to 20 when I go to evening parties.
You are perfectly right in making some slight alteration. Indeed, no woman should ever be quite accurate about her age. It looks so calculating. 18, but admitting to 20 at evening parties. Well, it will not be very long before you are of age and free from the restraints of tutelage. So I don't think your guardian's consent is, after all, a matter of any importance.
Pray excuse me, Lady Bracknell, for interrupting you again, but it is only fair to tell you that according to the terms of her grandfather's will, Miss Cardew does not come legally of age till she is 35.
What? 35? That does not seem to me to be a grave objection. 35 is a very attractive age. London society is full of women of the very highest birth who have of their own free choice remained 35 for years. Lady Dumbleton is an instance in point. To my own knowledge, she has been 35 ever since she arrived at the age of 40, which was many years ago now. I see no reason why our dear Cecily should not be even still more attractive at the age you mention than she is at present. There will be a large accumulation of property.
You are quite sure that I can't marry without your consent till I'm 35?
That is the wise provision of your grandfather's will, Cecily. He undoubtedly foresaw the sort of difficulty that would be likely to occur.
Then Grandpapa must have had a very extraordinary imagination. Algy, could you wait for me till I was 35? Don't speak hastily. It is a very serious question, and much of my future happiness, as well as all of yours, depends on your answer.
Of course I could, Cecily. How can you ask me such a question? I could wait forever for you. You know I could.
Yes, I felt it instinctively, but I couldn't wait all that time. I hate waiting even 5 minutes for anybody. It always makes me rather cross. I'm not punctual myself, I know, but I do like punctuality in others. And waiting, even to be married, is quite out of the question.
Well, then what is to be done, Cecily?
I don't know, Mr. Moncrief.
My dear Mr. Worthing, as Miss Cecily states positively that she cannot wait until she is 35, a remark which I'm bound to say seems to me to show a somewhat impatient nature, I would beg of you to reconsider your decision.
But, my dear Lady Bracknell, the matter is entirely in your own hands. The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolen, I will most gladly allow your nephew to form an alliance with my ward.
You must be quite aware that what you propose is out of the question.
Then a passionate celibacy is all that any of us can look forward to.
That is not the destiny I propose for Gwendolen. Algernon, of course, can choose for himself. Come, dear.
Mamma.
We have already missed 5, if not 6 trains. To miss any more might expose us to comment on the platform.
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
Christening, sir? Is not that somewhat premature?
Both these gentlemen have expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
At their age, the idea is grotesque and irreligious. Algernon, I forbid you to be baptized. I will not hear of such excess. Lord Bracknell would be highly displeased if he learned that that was the way in which you wasted your time and money.
Well, am I to understand then that there are to be no christenings at all this afternoon?
I don't think that as things are now, it would be of much practical value to either of us, Dr. Chasuble.
I'm grieved to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Worthing. They savour of the heretical views of the Anabaptists, views that I have completely refuted in 4 of my unpublished sermons. Baptismal regeneration is not to be lightly spoken of. Indeed, by the unanimous opinion of the fathers, baptism is a form of new birth. However, where adults are concerned, compulsory christening, except in the case of savage tribes, is, I regret to say, uncanonical. So, I shall return to the church at once, indeed. I have just been informed by the pew opener that for the last hour and a half, Miss Prism has been waiting for me in the vestry.
Miss Prism? Did I hear you mention a Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I am on my way to join her.
Pray allow me to detain you for a moment. This matter may prove to be one of vital importance to Lord Bracknell and myself. Is this Miss Prism, a female of repellent aspect, remotely connected with education?
But she is the most cultivated of ladies and the very picture of respectability.
It is obviously the same person. May I ask what position she holds in your household?
I am a celibate, madam.
Miss Prism, Lady Bracknell, has been for the last 3 years Miss Cardew's esteemed governess and valued companion.
In spite of what I hear of her, I must see her at once. Let her be sent for.
No, she approaches. She is nigh.
I was told you expected me in the vestry, dear Canon. I've been waiting for you there for an hour and 3/4.
Prism! Come here, Prism. Prism, where is that baby?
Gracious.
28 years ago, Prism, you left Lord Bracknell's house, number 104 Upper Grosvenor Street, in charge of a perambulator that contained a baby of the male sex. You never returned. A few weeks later, through the elaborate investigations of the Metropolitan Police, the perambulator was discovered at midnight, standing by itself in a remote corner of Bayswater. It contained the manuscript of a 3-volume novel of more than usually revolting sentimentality, but the baby was not there. Prism, where is that baby?
Lady Bracknell, I admit with shame that I do not know. I only wish I did. The plain facts of the case are these. On the morning of the day you mention, a day that is forever branded on my memory, I prepared as usual to take the baby out in its perambulator. I had also with me a somewhat old, capacious handbag in which I had intended to place the manuscript of a work of fiction which I had written during my few unoccupied hours. In a moment of mental abstraction for which I can never forgive myself, I deposited the manuscript in the bassinet and placed the baby in the handbag.
But where did you deposit the handbag?
Do not ask me, Mr. Worthing.
Miss Prism, this is a matter of no small importance to me. I insist on knowing where you deposited the handbag that contained that infant.
I left it in the cloakroom of one of the larger railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Victoria. The Brighton line.
Victoria? The Brighton line? I sincerely hope nothing improbable is going to happen. The improbable is always in bad, or at any rate questionable taste.
I must retire to my room for a moment.
But this news seems to have upset you, Mr. Worthing. I trust your indisposition is merely temporary.
I will be back in a few minutes, dear Canon. Gwendolen, wait here for me.
Oh, if you are not too long, I will wait here for you all my life.
What do you think this means, Lady Bracknell?
I dare not even suspect, Dr. Chasuble. I need hardly tell you that in families of high position, strange coincidences are not supposed to occur. They are hardly considered the thing.
Uncle Jack seems strangely agitated.
Well, your guardian has a very emotional nature.
This noise is extremely unpleasant. It sounds as if he was having an argument with the furniture. I dislike arguments of any kind. They are always vulgar and often convincing.
It has stopped now.
I wish he would arrive at some conclusion.
This suspense is terrible. I hope it will last.
Is this the handbag, Miss Prism? Examine it carefully before you speak. The happiness of more than one life depends on your answer.
It seems to be mine. Yes. Here is the injury it received through the upsetting of a Gower Street omnibus in younger and happier days. Here is the stain on the lining, caused by the explosion of a temperance beverage, an incident that occurred at Leamington. And here, on the lock are my initials. I'd forgotten that in an extravagant mood I'd had them placed there. The bag is undoubtedly mine. I'm delighted to have it so unexpectedly restored to me. It has been a great inconvenience to be without it all these years.
Miss Prism, more is restored to you than this handbag. I was the baby you placed in it. Yes. Mother.
Mr. Worthing, I am unmarried.
Unmarried? I do not deny that this is a serious blow. But after all, who has the right to cast a stone against one who has suffered? Cannot repentance wipe out an act of folly? Why should there be one law for men and another for women? Mother, I forgive you.
Mr. Worthing, there is some error. Maternity has never been an incident in my life. The suggestion, if it were not made before such a large number of people, would be almost indelicate. There is the lady that can tell you who you really are.
Lady Bracknell, I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly inform me who I am?
I am afraid that the news I have to give you will not altogether please you. You are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently Algernon's elder brother.
Algy's elder brother? Well, then I have a brother after all. I knew I had a brother. I always said I had a brother. Cecily, how could you ever doubted that I had a brother? Oh, Dr. Chasuble, my unfortunate brother. Miss Prism, my unfortunate brother. Gwendolen, my unfortunate brother. Oh, Algy, you young scoundrel. You will have to treat me with more respect in the future. You've never behaved to me like a brother in all your life.
Well, not till today, old boy, I must admit. I did my best, however, though I was out of practice.
Darling.
Under these strange and unforeseen circumstances, you can kiss your Aunt Augusta.
I am dazed with happiness. I hardly know who I am kissing.
I hope that will be the last time I shall ever hear you make such an observation.
It will, darling.
Mr. Worthing, Mr. Moncrief, as I should call you now, after what has just occurred, I feel it is my duty to resign my position in this household. Any inconvenience I may have caused you in your infancy through placing you inadvertently in this handbag, I sincerely apologize for.
Don't mention it. Dear Miss Prism, don't mention anything. I'm sure I had a very pleasant time in your nice handbag, in spite of the slight damage it received through the overturning of an omnibus in your happier days. As for leaving us, the suggestion is absurd.
It is my duty to leave. I have really nothing more to teach dear Cecily. In the very difficult accomplishment of getting married, I fear my sweet and clever pupil has far outstripped her teacher.
A moment. Letitia.
Dr. Chasuble.
Letitia, I have come to the conclusion that the primitive church was in error on certain points. Corrupt readings seem to have crept into the text. I beg to solicit the honour of your hand.
Frederick. At the present moment, words fail me to express my feelings. But I will forward you this evening the last 3 volumes of my diary. In these you will be able to peruse a full account of the sentiments that I have entertained towards you for the last 18 months.
Prism, from your last observation to Dr. Chasuble, I learn with regret that you've not yet given up your passion for sentimental fiction in 3 volumes. And if you really are going to enter into the state of matrimony, which at your age seems to me, I feel bound to say, rather like flying in the face of an all-wise providence, I trust you will be more careful of your husband than you were of your infant charge, and not leave poor Dr. Chasuble lying about at railway stations, in handbags or receptacles of any kind. Cloakrooms are notoriously draughty places. Dr. Chasuble, you have my sincere good wishes. And if baptism be, as you say it is, a form of new birth, I would strongly advise you to have Miss Prism baptized without delay. To be born again would be of considerable advantage to her. Whether such a procedure be in accordance with the practice of the primitive church, I do not know. But it is hardly probable, I should fancy, that they had to grapple with such extremely advanced problems. Cecily, sweet child, we will expect you at Upper Grosvenor Street in a few days.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
My own. But what own are you? What is your Christian name now that you've become someone else?
Good heavens! I had quite forgotten that point. Your decision on the subject of my name is irrevocable, I suppose?
I never change, except in my affections.
What a noble nature you have, Gwendolen.
Then the question had better be cleared up at once. Aunt Augusta, a moment. At the time when Miss Prism left me in the handbag, had I been christened already? Oh, pray be calm, Aunt Augusta. This is a terrible crisis, and much depends on your answer.
Every luxury that money could buy, including christening, had been lavished on you by your fond and doting parents.
Then I was christened. That is settled. Now, what name was I given? Let me know the worst.
Being the eldest son, you were naturally christened after your father.
Yes, but what was my father's Christian name?
I cannot at the present moment recall what the General's Christian name was.
You cannot recall?
Your poor dear mother always addressed him as General.
General?
That I remember perfectly. Indeed, I don't think she would have dared to have called him by his Christian name, but I have no doubt he had one. He was violent in his manner, but there was nothing eccentric about him in any way, and that was rather the result of the Indian climate and marriage and indigestion and other things of that kind. In fact, he was rather a martinet about the little details of daily life. Too much so, I used to tell my sister.
Algy, can't you recollect what our father's Christian name was?
Oh, my dear boy, we were never even on speaking terms. He died before I was a year old.
His name would appear in the army lists of the period, I suppose, Aunt Augusta?
The General was essentially a man of peace, except in his domestic life. But I have no doubt his name would appear in any military directory.
The army lists for the last 40 years are here. These delightful records should have been my constant study. Here, Dr. Chasuble.
Oh, yes.
Miss Prism, 2 for you.
Thank you.
Cecily, an army list. Make a précis of it at once. Algernon. Pray search English history for our father's Christian name, if you have the smallest filial affection left. Aunt Augusta, I beg you to bring your masculine mind to bear on this subject. Gwendolen?
Yes.
No, it would agitate you too much. Leave these researches to less philosophic natures like ours.
Oh, give me 6 copies of any period, this century or the last. I don't care which.
Noble girl. Here are a dozen. More might be an inconvenience to you. No, just let me look. No, allow me, dear. Darling, no, I think I can find it sooner. Just allow me, my love.
What station, Mr. Moncrief, did you say you wish to go to?
Station? Who on earth is talking about a station? Huh? I merely want to find out my father's Christian name.
But you've had him be a Bradshaw of 1869. I observe a book of considerable antiquarian interest, but not in any way bearing on the question of the names usually conferred on generals at baptism.
I'm so sorry, Uncle Jack, but generals don't seem to be even alluded to in the history of our own times, although it is the best edition, the one written in collaboration with the typewriting machine.
To me, Mr. Moncrief, you have given 2 copies of the price lists of the civil service stores. I do not find generals marked anywhere. There seems to be either no demand or no supply.
This treatise, the Green Carnation, as I see it is called, seems to be a book about the culture of exotics. It contains no reference to generals in it. It seems a morbid and middle-class affair.
Oh, good heavens. And what nonsense are you reading, Algy? The army list? The army list? Well, I don't suppose you knew it was the army list, and you have got it open at the wrong page. Look, besides, there's the thing staring you in the face. Look, M, generals, Malum, but what ghastly names they have. Markby, Migsby, Mobbs, Moncrief. Lieutenant, 1840. Captain, Lieutenant Colonel, Colonel, General, 1860. Christian names, Ernest, John. I always told you, Gwendolen, my name was Ernest, didn't I? Well, it is Ernest, after all. I mean, it naturally is Ernest.
yes, I remember now. That the General was called Ernest. I knew I had some particular reason for disliking the name.
Ernest, my own Ernest. I felt from the first that you could have no other name.
Gwendolen, it is a terrible thing for a man to find out suddenly that all his life he has been speaking nothing but the truth. Can you forgive me?
I can, for I feel that you are sure to change.
My own one.
Letitia. Frederick, at last.
Cecily, at last.
Gwendolen, at last.
My nephew, you seem to be displaying signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I've now realized for the first time in my life the vital importance of being earnest.
The Importance of Being Earnest, a trivial comedy for serious people by Oscar Wilde. John Worthing and the Honourable Gwendolen Fairfax were played by Richard Pasco and Barbara Leigh-Hunt, and Algernon MoncricB and Cecily Cardew by Jeremy Clyde and Prunella Scales. Miss Prism and Canon Chasuble were played by Sylvia Coleridge and Maurice Denham, and Mr. Gribsby of Parker and Gribsby by Gerald Cross. Lady Bracknell was played by Fabia Drake, and the servants Lane and Merriman by Richard Burnett and Jonathan Scott. The music for pianoforte was specially composed for this production and played by Terence Allbright. The studio managers were Roy Maynard, Anne Hunt, and Patience Pratt. The text for this first radio production of the original 4-act version of The Importance of Being Earnest was edited by Owen Dudley-Edwards, and the play was directed by IAN COTTERELL.